Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Racing Post Live in association with the Betfair Exchange for a jam-packed Saturday afternoon. My name is Ross Brierley. Do not adjust your sets. Dave Orton has gone on a stag do, God help us all. So I'm stepping in for the afternoon to get through a fantastic day with a little bit of everything. I'm sure everyone at home has got their fancies today. Of course, this is live and interactive. And whether you like 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, older horses, sprinters, stayers, middle distance animals, future stallions, future hurdlers, ex-hurdlers, all sorts of different things going on today. And we've got 8 races for you. We've got north, we've got south, and we've got across the Irish Sea as well. What more do you want, quite frankly? Some winners would be nice, and hopefully we'll pick them out as we go along this afternoon. So get in touch on the stream. Of course, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, like, subscribe, and get in touch with your backs and your lays and what you've got coming up for this afternoon. It's going to be pretty fast and furious. We've got 8 races for you coming up. First race is coming up at 1:45 from Newcastle. Then, of course, we've got the 3:45 from the Curragh and plenty much more besides. But it's not just me in the studio on my own for the next couple of hours. Luckily, I'm joined by a fantastic group of tipsters, experts, and just downright wonderful people. What more do you want? First things first, to my left, both of them, in fact. We've got to narrow it down. She was in for the Epsom Derby. She's in for the Irish Derby. She's in for the Pitman's Derby. She'll be in for the Greyhound Derby at this rate. It is the one and only Natalie Green.
Hello, Ross. Can I take the latter? Just a wonderful person.
Yeah.
That'll do me. I'll take that.
Stick that on the CV. There you go.
I did like your intro, though, because we actually do have something for everybody today, don't we?
Yeah.
We've got sand, we've got turf, like you say, Venetia Williams. I mean, we've got everything. We've
got
got
Venetia
everything.
Williams.
We've
That
got
is-
Venetia Williams.
I
love Venetia Williams.
I'm contractually obliged to not come in unless Venetia Williams has a runner, so it's good that she does have Green Book coming up later on. You are now the Derby expert, it would seem.
Yeah, because I didn't.
You didn't tip.
May not have tipped today, yeah, but.
You didn't tip a day on the winner of the Epsom Derby, but you did back it anti-post and just forgot to mention it.
It just forgot to mention it. It was the excitement.
Yeah.
You know, I had Dave Orton to my right, had Ross Brierley to my left. It just all got to me.
And you were overwhelmed.
I was absolutely overwhelmed, but I won't be doing the Greyhounds. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. And to the left of Natalie is a man so languid you might think that your screen is buffering. It is one and only Mr. Graeme Rodway.
Well, yeah, if only that was the case, Ross. But, yeah, it's great to be in. Obviously, a huge upgrade in the presenter chair and a huge upgrade in the middle chair as well. You know, sadly, viewers, you're stuck with me as usual. But, yeah, what else could you ask for?
Well, I mean, it's one of those days, isn't it? You get some Saturdays where you've got 1 or 2 races that kind of stand out a mile. And obviously, there are feature races today. And then you get some, especially in the midsummer, where you think, I could possibly have a selection in every race for the next sort of 6 or 7 hours. Yeah,
it is a bit like that, isn't it, today? And you could also have about 3 or 4 selections in each race, which I've actually managed to do here on a couple of these, you know, especially the Vase and the Plate. How many we got in each race there? About 20, have we? But, yeah, I'm not averse to having 3 or 4 darts a race. So
well, you will. I agree completely with that strategy, but you will get abuse from the commenters who believe that if you don't pick one horse and one horse only, you're not doing your job.
There's absolutely nothing worse, though, is there, watching something go in at 33-1 and you focus your attention on something else. But I don't personally think you can claim a 33-1 winner if you have tipped it in like a bulk of about 3 or 4.
I agree. Yeah.
It's not really a 33-1 winner, is it? It's more like a.
It is, but you've also got to then take the losers off, haven't you?
Yeah, by the time you take the losers off, it works out about 6 or 7.
God, we're selling it, guys. We're we're selling our knowledge.
What's wrong with
faith in us?
What's wrong with a 6-1 winner anyway?
No, absolutely. What's wrong with the 6-1 winner? It's not 7-1. That's what's wrong with it. So Natalie, Graeme in the studio then, and of course this is brought to you by the Betfair Exchange this afternoon, and live from his home, I assume. He might have broken into someone else's. It's Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, I'm at home at the moment, Ross. But yeah, looking forward to hearing the stories from Dave Orton. He certainly kept that one quiet, but great to be back marking the card, Racing Post Live. Some top action at Newmarket, Newcastle, and to round things off, we've got the Irish Derby at the Curragh. Got one of our favourites, Logician, running again today. Ross, you can guess already how I'm going to be playing this one.
Could be a place lay, Marc. Could be a place lay for you, I feel.
I think maybe not today, but yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into the action and showcasing the Betfair Exchange capabilities. Confident I can make some profit for the charity of choice, which involves Charlie Post cycling this August for Racing Welfare. Currently 50% from hitting its target of 2,000. So let's hope we're going to have a great day on the betting front and get this one over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to get it. You don't have to hit that target, Mark. But please do if you can, because you're a man who likes a big price selection, aren't you?
Yeah, I do. I've got a couple of big ones lined up, especially in the first race as well. I know G's quite confident on this as well.
Okay, very well. Well, that's a little teaser coming up in 10 minutes' time. A 6 furlong handicap at Newcastle. This is the problem with today. We were talking off air, Graeme. Newcastle, since they went to the all-weather surface, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship, I feel, for punters and probably trainers and jockeys and horses as well.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Since they went to the new surface, initially everything won from off the pace, didn't it? You had to come from behind. It was almost impossible to make all there. And then I think the jockeys started to read what everyone was saying. Oh, you can't win from off the pace. And then they started to go a little bit slower. And then, of course, once they start going a little bit slower, everything makes all.
Yeah.
And all the punters were going, hold on a sec, you couldn't win from behind. Now you can't win unless you're on the front. And now, like we were saying earlier, the jockeys seem to be caught in two minds. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? You know, they don't seem to be able to gauge just how the track is riding and where you want to be in a race. And that's my feeling with it as well. When I'm punting there, it just completely confuses me sometimes. I'm sitting there going, is the best horse going to win? Is there a bias? Is there no bias? Do you need to be stand side, far side? We're going to find out today.
We are. So it's a bit of a maybe I'm going to say a pin sticker's job at Newcastle, but obviously the problem is as well they've been doing jumpers bumpers over the winter as well. So we were talking, it's pretty much standard all the time at Newcastle. But if you're harrowing it differently for jumpers bumpers and you're -1 in the winter and you're 20 degrees in the summer, surely the surface can't ride the same every meeting.
No, it's like yielding in Ireland, isn't it? It's just standard.
Just a pretty much a catch-all
But
term.
it's still quite new, isn't it? I mean, I suppose like statisticians and stuff, it just needs, the 5 years need another 5 years. I mean, I don't know. It must be tricky for the jockeys. I think, on turf or your experience of different tracks, but on the surface, you've made all the points. It must be very, very difficult. I've got no idea where
does the going stick not work on the all-weather? They not just go out there and stick the going stick in and it comes out 7 or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. We'll have a go at that.
When the trainers go in and they stick their sticks in, maybe they should try that as well.
And then every gallop, like at home on the race, at different trainers' yards, all the gallops are different. Their surface is different.
Yeah.
It's not all the same. It's not the mixture can be different.
And it's a complex sport, guys. That's
really
that's the thing with horse racing is. It seems.
Where are we going with this?
It seems simple on paper, doesn't it? We're going to Newcastle. That's where we're going. So I'm setting us up for the first race of the afternoon, which is coming up at Newcastle. And I guess I'm just putting a caveat in because a 14-runner Class 2 0 to 100 6 furlong handicap at Newcastle, which is currently about 9 to 2 the field, is on paper a bit of a nightmare. But luckily, we have a few people in the studio and at home who would like to try and find some value. So Edgedelarm just heading the betting on the exchanges. They're about 5.6. Fleet in print about 8.2. There's been a bit of money for Lexington Dash as well. So let's go over to Marc and tell us, how is this market reacting here for the opener? Are punters putting those caveats in as much as we are for this first race, Marc?
Yeah, there really hasn't been many market movers here. Was it El Shajab's at the top of the bank for David Egan and Ian Williams? He's got some fancy runners this afternoon. It's currently about 925.7, and then it does look quite wide open. But the one I actually like in this race for the first race we're going to cover today is Kevin Ryan's Major Jumbo. I think this one ran well for a long way at Newbury on the 14th of May. Traded short on the BSP on the last 3 runs. It's currently a 25 chance in the Betfair Exchange right now. I don't think he liked the ground too much last time at Newbury, and we'll appreciate a quicker surface. Record at Newcastle on the all-weather reads 3 runs, 1 win, 1 second and 1 third. So obviously it runs well at the course, dropped another £3 by the handicapper to 95. Today's rider, John Shinnick, was ridden the grade before, takes off another £7. So the way I sort of looked at it, if Major Jumbo can reproduce the form of his third in the Chipchase Stakes on this card 12 months ago off 107, he could be actually thrown in here. The Kevin Ryan yard operating an 18% strike rate as well, 7 for 38. I'm expecting a massive run here. So, I mean, I'm happy to back this at 25s in the win, a £25 win. And we'll use the exchange capabilities on the Betfair Exchange, and we'll bet it in the 5-place market right now. I think he was roughly around 5 to 2.
Okay, so you want 25 to win at 25, Marc?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we'll take that, yeah.
And then
happy
the
to be
5
a price taker.
places?
Yeah, see if we can get a bit of 3.6 or 3.55 should be okay in the 5-place market. I expect him to be quite prominent today. I'm expecting a big run.
Yeah, this is quite nice, this, Graeme. It's like It's like the old days of the call centres, as you...
I used to work in a call centre, actually, doing just this sort of thing.
Yeah, so did I, so that's why
it works out perfectly for us, doesn't it? So 3.55, £25 at 3.55, and that's matched as well, Mark.
Very well. Major jumbo then for Marc, and it might well be a similar angle for you, although you've got a few up your sleeve. Is that right, Graeme?
Yeah, I tipped Major Jumbo the last couple of times he's run and didn't put him up today. So, if you fancy him, go in because it'll probably be the day today. Stall 1's not always a great draw at Newcastle on that straight track.
Yeah, especially on the sprints. I mean, 5 furlongs a bit more extreme, I think. But you're right, they do tend to...
Now, I don't know why that is. Someone's suggesting that wind whistles across and the track and stall 1 and 2 get the brunt of it. Now, again, that is not my theory. I have plenty of theories, but that is not one of them. But this is what someone told me. So... I've given Major Jumbo to swerve and I've gone for Woven. Yeah, Woven's been very popular, hasn't he, among our tipsters recently, but everyone's deserted him today. I remember, I think Keels and Siegel both tipped him last time out at York when he finished 4th behind Mr. Lupton. And I thought he went too fast. They set that race up for Lupton. We love Luppy.
They went a right
Luppy's a great
clip,
horse, isn't he? Yeah, went a right old clip. And Luppy just came flying at the end like he always does and picked them off. I thought he went too fast that day, and I thought had he been given a bit more of a considered ride or been able to go a little bit slower, he might have won that race. So Woven for me, huge drifter on the exchange though, trading at 12. I've taken 13-2, so I'm obviously shrewd.
It's yeah, that is. I mean, are you going in again?
Well, yeah, it's tempting,
I mean, I'll talk to you about that later. I want to know strategy because obviously some people they go off them, some people they go, well, it's double the price.
I don't go off them, but I don't know if I want to press up.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So Woven for Graeme then. Marc at home is going for Major Jumbo. As I said, this is a wide open field, Natalie. You could quite easily back half the field and still not get the first 3 home. So what's on your shortlist?
Yeah, a little bit sort of boring, my picks. I can't give up completely on Mondamage. We know he's quirky. It's been well documented. We know he's highly strung. Also, he can be slowly away, so back him.
Yeah.
So there can be the
that's
talents there.
yeah.
The talents there. And I just thought, for me, in my notes at Mondamage, worth another try over 6. Wasn't that bad last time, so I'm happy about that. But Edgelab is my pick to win it. So obvious, so boring. I'm really sorry, but unexposed as a sprinter.
It's boring, but it's 5-1 currently.
Yeah, I thought we'd seen him at Royal Ascot in the Buckingham Palace, but then obviously Royal Ascot was very strange weather-wise. We had a deluge of He's got an entry for the Bunbury Cup in July, also Goodwood at the end of July. Look, he looks quality horse watching the replays. I thought that at Epsom last time it went right for him. It ran right the race, but I think if it does that today, I think he's the winner for me.
Yeah, he get a nice toe into the race at Epsom, but to be fair, that 6 furlong track at Epsom, you can get loose on the lead. So if anything, rattling home like that is a bit of a bonus for him. Okay, so that's 3 selections. I'll throw another one in here, and that's Magical Spirit for Kevin Ryan, who's just had a winner in the shape of Catch Cunningham earlier on. But I thought Magical Spirit was quite interesting, switching back to this track. A little bit not necessarily particularly well handicapped, but this horse won the Silver Cup at Ayr last time out. And the thing for me, we were talking about the way that races unfold at Newcastle, Graeme, but on paper there's not too much pace here, and I thought actually Magical Spirit, we saw Caspian Prince last out yesterday over 5 furlongs admittedly. I thought there was a potential that at the very least will get out at significantly shorter. She's currently 25-1. He's currently 25-1, sorry, on the exchange. So I think he might well trade sort of 9-10 if he does kick and gets caught out.
Yeah, he was in the race behind Luppy, wasn't he?
He was.
And Woven last time, and he set quite a decent pace in that race. And he'd been fairly consistent before that, hadn't he, Ross? So maybe the market's overlooked him a little bit. It looks absolutely disgusting at Newcastle, doesn't it? It's absolutely pouring down, isn't it?
I wasn't expecting that, were you?
Oh, it looks horrible there. It's just like pouring down mist. Looks like could almost be rehearsal chase day, couldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Or fighting fifth day, is that now, isn't it?
Why not mix it up? Why not get a mixed card on the go in the middle of the summer? But yeah, I mean, there is this morning I googled London weather and it said tornado on the way. So I think over the next couple of days we've got a lot to go on.
It's coming our way.
It's possibly coming our way. It's starting in Newcastle and working our way down. Okay, they're the selections. Let's just reiterate them, Marc. You're playing Major Jumbo.
Yeah, it's a slight drifter on the exchange at the moment, out to around 29.30s. It's a little bit of money for your selection. Magical Spirits 25s, did hit 20s there to 22s, but the real mover is James Tate's Victory Heights. I mean, that was around 22s. It did go down to about 12.5. The backies were absolutely queuing up to get that. It's sort of pushing out a little bit now, but the way this market's unfolding, I don't think the punters can make their mind up here. Obviously, you've got Edgelab at the top of the betting, but apart from that, it does look pretty wide open, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a boil over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just our producers don't know what I'm doing, but can you, if you could switch the channel so that we could watch the race, that would be wonderful for this 145 at Newcastle. Edge to Lob is heading the betting here. There's a bit of money for the old Mondamege. Let's talk about a few more. Fleeting Prince has got group form here. Streamline's a proper all-weather horse, and like I said, we talk about Mondamege, Graeme. Some horses, you can't take away the quirks without taking away the ability.
He's an absolute nutcase, isn't he? He's a real nutcase, Mondamege.
Yeah,
I backed him when he ran at Chester because I thought that Jabberwocky was drawn in 1 and Mondamege was drawn 2. I thought, well, what I have in here, Jabberwocky will blast, Mondamege will slot him behind and he'll just pick him off late. And Jabberwocky blasted and Mondamege just pulled like an absolute express
I'm not having any of this.
Didn't fancy it at all and was tailed off after about 2 furlongs. Obviously, he came back and has run 3 times since, so he's been busy, hasn't he? But going up to 6.
Anthony Britton they don't waste much time going home, do they?
No, they certainly don't. They keep him fit on the course, don't they?
Yeah. Anything else for you to mention, that? Because there's loads in here. Staxton, I mean, he's a course and distance winner. Mountain Brave's a big price.
I quite liked your thing with our Fleeting Prince there. It's been gelded since last run, which obviously can work the magic, or it can't, but on a fair mark. And third at Newmarket last time, I thought it's definitely got a squeak. And Lexington Dash was here, my each way, because better than ever this year. And last time Epsom, the start went wrong, didn't it? Watch replay bumped, and that's never ideal, is it? So no. I thought, getting those two, Lexington Dash and Fleeting Prince, have definitely made my biblical notes.
It's interesting that theory, isn't it?
There's a lot of notes.
There's a lot of notes there.
That's just one horse.
That theory about the gelding, I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and she basically said that she backs any horses that ran well on their previous start and have then been gelded. Yeah. She was like, because if they were able to run well and then they geld them, it obviously concentrates in my mind. They're sure to improve. Yeah. And now I've only just remembered this just now that Natalie has mentioned it, because I had quite a few drinks at the time. Yeah. But I did promise her I would research it and write a piece about it in the Racing Post. And now that Natalie has reminded me, I will do that.
No, it's true. It's
I just haven't got the time to run out the stats right this second, but I will do it.
If you could write that piece by the end of the show, that would be great, Graeme. A few to go in here, left to go in Streamline. We've got Edge to Lob, we've also got Staxton, and we've got the aforementioned Victory Heights, who, as Marc said, had attracted a bit of support, but Edge to Lob still pretty solid. But yeah, Victory Heights almost halved in price there here at Newcastle. And yeah, the Tate horses are in good nick, Marc.
Yeah, stable's in form at the moment. Is a big eye catcher. I mean, 13.5. Man, they're absolutely queuing up to get on this one. The favourite, 5.9, hasn't really moved either. There's near enough 500,000 in the market right now. But yeah, I'm expecting this to be fast and competitive. But let's hope we can get a boil over here. One of the Kevin Ryans will take that.
Okay, let's see how they go then. We've got plenty of selections here at Newcastle. I'm sure you all have at home as well. I'll take the call and hand over to very, very quick in-running comments from the two to the left about whether your selections are in a good position or not. That is the question. Edge to Lob might well be the last one in here at Newcastle as they line up in the mist. I'm regretting taking this call. I should have handed it to Graeme, but they're off and racing there for the 145. And as I said before the race, it didn't seem a lot of obvious pace on paper. And for a 6 furlong race, this looks more like a bumper with the early pace. Mountain Brave, Major Jumbo on the far side as well, down this near side. Edge to Lob is making the running. And that's probably a savvy decision by the jockey, as they look to be going a bit of a dawdle here, guys.
Yeah, it could be very interesting to see which side's in front, isn't it, Ross? Because they're split into 2 groups. Major Jumbo leading them up the far side, and Edge to Lob coming up the near side. It's often the near side, isn't it? But we'll see here. Yeah,
Victory Heights being rousted along, and they don't seem to be going a good clip. Who would you want to be on right now, Nat?
No, well, I'm not going off my Edge to Lob. I think it's in a really nice rhythm. Just saying, come on, stay there. Come on, keep up. I mean, look at this now.
Oh, Jumbo's going well, isn't he?
Jumbo's still in front. Magical Spirit down the near side edge to lob. Dan's out. He's going to come through as well. And just another bottle. Mondamedge is screaming for room, but is he going to find anything? Edge to lob down this near side.
Oh, here comes Mondamedge is flying.
Mondamedge on the far side, but this near side rail, surely.
Yeah,
Edge
near
to lob
side.
has got it. Edge
Up
to
the
lob
highway.
has won this fairly cosily. He's going to be tight for second between
come on, ride
Mondamedge,
him
Major
out.
Jumbo and Streamline and
Oh,
Mondamedge.
no.
Finishes a distant second, but Edge to lob has fairly bolted up there. Now 3 from 3 over 6 furlongs.
Can I go home now?
You can, absolutely. That's it.
We're off the mark.
We're off the mark.
When we did the show last week, apparently the plan was for everyone on the panel to find the winner of every race.
Yeah.
So that counts as a whole team win.
That's fine. So we're Dutch.
We're going to claim that.
Is that a 6-4 winner then? Is that what we're doing?
Do you know what was nice about that? Is when you see races run like that, rhythm was spot on.
Yeah.
When asked, come on, keep up, keep go, don't faff around, stuck to the task. That is what I really like to see in a race. That was pleasing. Very good.
Echelon has absolutely bolted up, really. I mean, a couple of things to mention. One, again, it was a very shrewd move, I thought, by David Egan to on a horse who, like I said, had a pace to chase at Epsom last time out, but there wasn't one on paper, and he was brave enough to come and grab this near side rail and kind of ignore everyone else.
Father?
Sorry?
Have you met his father?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Brave.
Pretty good stock, fair enough. That is true, but you see a lot of jockeys, more experienced jockeys than David Egan who aren't brave enough to make those moves.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. And Mondamedge, get in, 1-2. Natalie Green raises the roof.
There we go. Edge to Lob 9-2, Mondamedge 7-1, Major Jumbo 22-1. Can't have been a particularly lively market, Marc, as it was sewn up from quite a way out, really.
Yeah, I think it was a good shout from Natalie there. The winner, Italy, didn't trade higher in the BSP. I do think moving forward there could be a track bias on that stand side rail. I think Major Jumbo, I think he's just on the wrong side. I think if he was drawn next to the eventual winner, it could have been a bit closer. And obviously that inexperience, David Egan, did kick at the right time, and the race was over at the furlong pole. But Major Jumbo was definitely one for the notebook. I think there's definitely a win there off that mark. But yeah, good start. And I think you had the forecast as well there. Maybe I'll have to let you do the next race moving forward.
Absolutely, Natalie Green is
Beginner's luck.
But well, I mean, yeah, I get the feeling me and Graeme spent ages saying that Newcastle is a nightmare to read. I think you've got to go through the card and see that feeling. Edge to Lob now. I mean, he's won that off 96, Graeme.
Yep.
Obviously, this horse, it's only his 13th start. He's from a yard who have a reputation for. I mean, we've got another improver in East Asia for them later on. He could be either proper heritage handicap quality, or it doesn't take a lot for a sprint handicapper to progress into group company.
No, it doesn't, does it? He could easily end up in group races by the end of the year, couldn't he? Especially given the yard that he's come from. Interest in the Golden Highway up the stand side? Not sure. If the winner won well, but those in behind who came up the rail, not sure there was a lot in it. We'll see. We'll see. In the obviously, it's obviously not a disadvantage to be on the rail, is it? But the second, third, and fifth all come up the middle, so that suggests that there can't be a huge bias to be right in the stand.
You could argue it's the other way. You could argue the Echelon, if everything else has come down the middle, then Echelon might have won in spite of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, you can argue anything you like, really, can't you, Ross?
Do it. Go for it.
Maybe we should suggest that he's been flattered by it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, we will find out eventually. Echelon for Ian Williams, who's got, I think I saw him tweet earlier something like 17 runners or something today.
I was he's funny.
Yeah, briefly having kittens there because I thought Major Jumbo was going to win, and I was sitting there going, oh no, and then my selection Woven managed to get run out the fourth place and just pick up that fifth. Yeah,
the agony was for.
Yeah, that was what the agony was for. Just something coming up the stands round, running me out of fourth, just right on the line, which is always very frustrating when you're on the extra place 4 and then they finish 5, don't they? But yeah, everyone always says it's always one out, isn't it? I just think that's in your mind, isn't it? Really, you always think, whenever I do some 4 place, it finish 5th, 6th.
You only remember the ones that get chinned for the place, don't you?
Yeah, I always remember.
It is always one out though. Like I always do these flipping 3 folds and 4 folds, and it's always like the 4th leg when it gets 5th, and I'm absolutely livid.
Is that not just? I mean, statistical deviation. Most of the things are going to be
there or thereabouts.
So.
Yes, it is, Ross. God.
Well,
yes, you're right.
Something to put a dampener on it.
Oh, it's I went through a period where I was messing around in running. I was like, I kept backing loads of horses that would trade really short and then not win and not getting out on them. And I was thinking, they're so unlucky, so unlucky. And then I started to think to myself, well, if I'm backing them in running, they should be going close, really, shouldn't they? I'm doing something wrong
fair.
if they're not. So then I started to sort of trade it the other way and start thinking, oh, well, forget about trying to win, just try and trade it back out. And I've got a little bit more successful. And then the drone fellas come along and it took away all the fun.
The drone fellas come
Talking
along.
about drones, Marc's known as a drone pilot, I believe, because when he sits there in his headphones, he looks like he's flying a drone.
Oh, yeah.
It could be.
The drone probably would have been handy at Newcastle today with that fog, maybe nick a couple of points in running. But Major John, I'll take a place on that last one. I think it would have been quite unfortunate if he had done the business. I think you would have been sick, G.
Yes, absolutely. Had he held on, I would have been more disappointed than I was to see that one get run out fourth.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Echelon then takes the opener for Ian Williams, who does have a very busy day indeed. Of course, he's got East Asia coming up a little bit later on the card, and he could have a very good afternoon indeed. I mean, he's not had many winners recently, but a lot of them have been hitting the frame, so it might well turn around. Don't forget, this is, of course, live and interactive as well. You're watching it at home. I hope you are, otherwise what's the point in us being here? So please get in touch, get your selections in, let us know what you're fancying, what you're backing, what you're laying. And we will give you a shout out on the show. But we are moving now over to Newmarket for the 205, the third race on the July course this afternoon, and we have a wide open juvenile listed race here for the fillies, and got a bit of Royal Ascot form on the card as well at Newmarket this afternoon. Headed on the exchange by Chipchase, who's currently trading around 4.6. Najat and Rock Melody, though, are first-time out winners who are stepping up in grade. Then another Royal Ascot performer in the shape of Desert Dreamer. So these two-year-old races, I mean, we had some absolute corkers at Ascot last week, Marc, and nice to see a few of those form lines tested. What's the exchange telling us for this first race we'll be covering at Newmarket?
Yeah, Najat was actually favourite this morning, but it's actually been quite weak. And obviously Cachetta for Newmarket Curragh. That one's top of the betting now, 4.6. But yeah, I think this was really trappy with a lot of potential improvers. So how I'm going to play this for the exchange, I'm actually going to Dutch 2 in this race. The first one is Rock Melody. I was really impressed with Rock Melody on debut at Redcar on the 1st of June. She travelled strongly, put the race to bed at the furlong pole, drawn 1 here. Was as big as 9-1 on the sportsbook yesterday. She's currently trading at 7.4. She's roughly around 13-2 on the Betfair Exchange right now. Almanish, who was second at Redcar, won next time out in novice company, so the form's been given a boost. So that's the first one we're going to bet here. So we'll have a £30 win on Rock Melody, and the second one, I mean, I can't believe the price of this one. It's David O'Meara's Jersey Rose. Even when I seen the 25-1 on the sportsbook, I thought that was big, but I'm seeing 75s on the exchange right now. This is the second horse I'm going to Dutch. She came on a ton for her debut at first on the 15th of May, winning decisively, ripping a fortnight later on the 27th of May. Tim Easterby's well fancied Atomic Lady was second that day and won comfortably next time out. Again, the form's been given a boost. Today's quicker ground is an unknown, and it is factoring in the price, but she shouldn't be that as big a price as that. So how we're going to play this? We're going to have a £30 win on Rock Melody, 7.6, 7.4, and then we'll have a score on Jersey Rose, 75s on exchange.
Okay, there we go. Rock Melody and Jersey Rose then. A couple of novice winners last time out coming into this race. Natalie, talk to us about the Ascot form. Of course, we've got Cachet, we've got Desert Dreamer, we've got a couple of others as well coming from various races. What did you make of the form? Of course, we're having to compare good to firm to heavy as well, so it's difficult to weigh them up.
Very, very difficult. George Bowie's doing well, isn't he? Good on George. Yeah, I've got my little highlights pen on Cash and Desert Dreamer, but actually, there's not a lot else I can add to what Marc said. But Rock Melody, there's nothing I didn't like about her at Redcar. What we can say is, what did she actually beat? I think that is actually a fair comment, though. But it's how she's just such a lovely type and looks to take everything in her stride. So if there's a horse I am really excited to see in my pick, it is Rock Melody, but such an up-and-coming trainer. He was mentioned in 2020 when he was 29, he's now 30. Kevin Philippard de Foy.
Absolutely.
What a name.
Fantastic name, isn't it?
Is it not the, it's
yes.
the best?
And when he teams up with Benoit de la Sayette, that is an absolute banker.
Can you imagine making a table reservation? Oh yes, I have a table for three, please. Philippe de Foy. I mean, it's just absolutely the best. I just want to go for dinner with him for that.
Well, get in touch, Kevin, if you're watching.
Yeah, Kevin, if you want to take me out.
There's your invitation.
I am married, by the way. Oh my God, so much trouble.
It's fine. It's just dinner, Nat. It's just dinner.
Just dinner.
All right, Rock Melody then from box 1.
Yeah, really warm on Rock Melody.
Yeah, a Redcar novice winner, which Redcar I think gets a bit of It's got a fantastic reputation, Redcar, but you get some really warm novice events there. You get a lot of runners, and you learn quite a bit, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't say I've ever ridden in one, so I can't give you first-hand experience, but I would suggest that is probably the case. Yeah, George Bow flying, isn't he?
Yeah.
2-year-olds, unbelievable record. I can't remember what it is, but it's amazing. It was over 50% at some point this week.
I mean, just his general strike rate, 25% strike rate across the board this year, which is
That's impressive.
incredible, really.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? I wasn't sure about this race. It was very difficult. I came down on no bet, but I would have backed a Desert Dreamer.
Yeah, got an entry at Redcar in October. Desert Dream,
What,
isn't it?
in the 2-year-old trophy there. Now, ran in the race that Quick Susie won.
Yep.
And was on the other side. Weird race, wasn't it? Quick Susie flew up the standside rail. The Wes Ward horse came up standside rail, and Desert Dreamer was on the other side. Best time, I think, was over 5, first time up, but won nicely over course and distance over 6. So seems equally effective at both. Higher RPR second time out. So it depends on which one you think is the better performance. But yeah, he'd be my idea. Sorry, she, isn't it? It's a fillies race.
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
Empress
absolutely.
Fillies.
So she would probably be my idea of the winner if I was playing. But it's a no bet one for me, Ross.
Okay. I backed a couple here. One is Desert Dreamer. I mean, that race you won on debut threw up pretty much every single horse in behind. Came out and won next time out. Nymphadora won the Mary Gate. Canonised. He runs later on. At Windsor, Ballerina Lady won. Devious Angels won. It was just an incredible race to follow. And then I think the thing at Newmarket over 6 next time out, they went a good clip over 5 on debut. She pulled for a head over 6 next time out and still rocketed home to win on the bridle. So I think getting stuck down the middle of the track at Ascot was very much against her, because it did seem that near side rail was the place to be.
And at the start, which is never handy.
It's not, especially when you're kind of stuck down the middle and having to make your own.
And then it's all just, it gets a bit discombobulated, doesn't it? It's all a bit of a...
If you've got nothing to bring you into the race.
Difficult then, difficult task.
And Marc, just a quick word on a big price here, Little Prayer, who got beat by a horse called Dig 2, who I'm still having nightmares about at Ascot, winning the side, and then bolted up at Nottingham last time out. And again, I thought that was a bit of a big price. What we got, Little Prayer?
This one, she's currently a 32 chance on the Betfair Exchange at the moment. Another one that I think is overpriced. It's drawn in 3. I think this is massively competitive, and again, I think we could potentially see a boil over here if the two at the top of the betting flop. But yeah, every chance, Little Prayer for Richard Spencer and Hayley Turner.
Okay, yeah, Little Prayer. It's a big price here for the Spencer and Turner combination. At the spotlight, going for Rock Melody, so another nod for the wonderfully named Kevin Philippart de Foy. Cachet and Najat are obvious players, but a bigger odds suggestion is Rock Melody with Honey Sweet second choice. This is, again, it's just one of those races that we could go all the way down the race card here and give a good mention to all of them.
We can, but Najat, to be fair, was so green at first, wasn't she? And then sort of got carried off to the left, sort of, and then still managed to be pretty emphatic putting that to bed. And I think one thing we could probably say about Najat, looks like she's really going to have learnt plenty from that run at Thirsk, and being that green, coming right across the track, which clearly has a bit of an engine.
Yeah.
So certainly wouldn't be ignoring Najat, but obviously I want to stick with my one pick without mentioning every single horse in the race. So.
It'd be interesting here, won't it, where the draw is going to play out, because we watched a race earlier in the day. The winner absolutely bolted up the standside rail and caught those in the middle, and a bit like we were just talking about Edge to Lot. It's hard to make any obvious.
Race, I don't know if you saw the second race at Newmarket, because you were probably talking through your preview. They all went. Nothing came down this near side rail. They all went to the far side rail.
Jockey's logic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do get confused sometimes by jockeys. I must admit, when I watch the racing and I think, well, watching that race looks certain to be on that side, and then all the jockeys go the other side, and I think, well, have they walked it? Is someone saying something in the weighing room? Have they not watched the first few races? I get completely confused about what's going on. So it will be interesting to see if anyone explores coming up this standside rail, because obviously nobody did last time out. It does tend to take we were talking about to James Millman, who was in last week, and it does seem to be a big thing with jockeys and instructions.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I could see sometimes.
Employees essentially on the day.
Yeah, essentially, he was saying, I used to know that I was going in the wrong place, but the trainer would tell me to go there, and I wanted to ride the horse again, so I would just do what the trainer told me.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you get a little bit more leeway if your name is like R. Moore or J. Doyle than if your name is J. Millman or someone who's not quite higher profile. Yeah. If you get it wrong, I suggest, and your name's R. Moore, you probably come in and I suspect the trainer doesn't give you as big a, bollocking as he would if your name was J. Millman. I suspect.
I mean, it could work. It's not necessarily trainers as well. I mean, I've owned horses and said, I said, look, this is. I've been watching the racing here at Southwell the last few weeks. You don't want to be on that inside rail. I want you to sit here, kick at this point, and you kind of you can see the jockey looking at you, going, "I'll try, mate. I'll try." But you're not Sheikh Hamdan, so I might not listen to you. So it does happen. They are going in here at Newmarket for this 2-year-old fillies listed race. Then, quick update on the market as they load them in here. Market, anything coming in for late cash?
Yeah, the should have been more. Adam Kirby, Richard Feynman. This one's very weak. This one's out to 25 to 26 on the Betfair Exchange. But I mean, the backers really seem to be coming for a cashy here. It's into 4.3, and Najaz currently 9-2, 5.4. The money sort of dried up for the outsiders here, but they're definitely queuing up for the two at the top of the bang here.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So it is one of those days that we said at the top of the show that it could be a very, very difficult day to find winners. The favourite bolted up in the first race we covered. It might end up that Class does come to the fore as the afternoon goes on, but Cachet pretty solid at 4.42 to back on the market. It was a no bet face for you. You're with Rock Melody, is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Rock Melody. Like you said, Nadjet impressed me on debut, running very greenly. Cachet, as we know, emphatic winner on the other course, but I'll stick with Rock Melody.
Okay, and I'll go with Desert Dreamer and Little Prayer against the field.
It's funny, Ross, we were both talking about working in call centres. I used to have this theory that when I worked in a call centre, there was always meetings at Newmarket, Newcastle, Newton, Abbott and Newbury on the same day, just so that if you put New on the slip,
you could get away with it.
You could get away with whichever race you wanted. And it's great to see on a day when Newcastle are racing, there's also Newmarket but no Newbury today, or Newton Abbott, of course.
They've really missed out there, yeah. You could, unnamed favourite in the at New. Get away with it. But, you can't do that on the exchange, unfortunately. But you can click the wrong horse. We've all been there.
And they win sometimes.
They do, but mostly they don't. They're in at Newmarket then, and they're off and racing. And let's see where they settle down again. Where is the early pace going to come from? Again, there isn't a great deal of it on paper. Who's going to take it up? Rock Melody down this near side with Little Prayer and Cachet. On the far side, we've got Lovely Manor. And next to Lovely Manor, we have Blast. Out the back, Desert Dreamer and Delmona. And the picture's just freezing there as we switch to a different camera. Held up at the back is System. Desert Dreamer also held up for a late run. But again, on paper, they seem to be going a fairly modest gallop here, which is going to suit Rock Melody. You should be pretty happy with that position. And Cachet down this near side, Little Prayer. Few just coming under rise. What are we thinking?
Yeah, they're all going quite well, aren't they? The Kellen Philibert Dupuy has come up the near side, hasn't he? And he's coming under pressure now. What's that? Travelling really well. It's
Little Prayer, I think, is one of them.
Little
on the
Prayer.
far side. It could well be the far side. We've got Honey Sweet also in with a chance down this near side. Rock Melody, Cachet trying to pick up. Delmona is really picking up here and looks to have every chance down the middle of the track.
He's going to fly up the near side.
Desert Dreamer's looking for a gap as well, and his Cubway come through. It's Desert Dreamer rattling home with Delmona on that far side.
Here comes System up the near side. It's going to fly.
Desert Dreamer through the middle. Desert Dreamer and System up towards the line. System and Desert Dreamer, and I think System has got that near side rail. From Desert Dreamer, back in third. I'm not entirely sure because I was too busy cursing my luck there as I thought she had it. But that near side rail, guys, that's 2 races on the trot. Newcastle and Newmarket. You should have put near side rail bias, new, unnamed on the slip.
Drawn in stall 5. So Pat Dobbs obviously maybe watched the first race.
Yeah.
And has brought System right up the stand side rail. And won quite tidily in the end, hasn't it? Sort of going away at the finish, 22-1. I wonder if he is on the better ground.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, you would argue that, I suppose, Ross.
Still recovering from the commentary. I felt my head exploded at the end there. I was like, go!
It was one of those races, wasn't it? I mean, given that they didn't look to go a mad pace early, the first and second have come from a hell of a long way back. It's
unbelievable. I mean, so Rock Melody was too keen. She's not got into the stall. And then here, Ross, like you say, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought she had it.
That must have traded at a big price in running, Mark, did it? Because it went out the picture, didn't it?
Yeah, the second Desert Dreamer has been done at 1.25. It's very short, around for not for massive money, but for most of the money was done at 1.34, around 3s on. The winner system, again, got a dream run up the inside, and that's traded. Again, we got a boil over in this race. Unfortunately, it wasn't the one that we backed, but yeah, that's been matched for £1 at 90, £6 at 85, £6 at 80. So one of the layers has been burnt there. I think what Natalie said there, Rock Melody was tried to make the run, but very keen early and just sort of fell away at the furlong pole. But yeah, maybe want to keep on side, maybe around 5 furlongs. But yeah, the winner done it well, and it does seem there could potentially be a track bias there at Newmarket. It was a good ride from Pat Dobbs.
Yeah, I mean, again, the thing you've got to mention though, Graeme, is it a track bias, or is it like Ascot last week? It is a rail bias, but it's just you just need our rail.
It helps.
Because everything else goes down the middle.
Definitely helps. Well, everyone who's involved with 2-year-olds always tells me it helps if they can run up a rail. Now, obviously, I've never ridden a 2-year-old in my life, so I take what they say as gospel most of the time, and there it does seem to have made a big difference for Pat Dobbs. That second has got a lot of ability, hasn't he, Desert Dream? He travelled well through that race. It come very, very strongly, and probably didn't even see the horse on the stand side. Whips apart, aren't they?
Yeah, and had to duck and weave through a gap. But yeah, I mean, we're dealing with very inexperienced horses here, aren't we, Nat? So anything that will help is going to help.
Honestly, at this age, this level, they don't know what's going on, do they? This is the jockeys having to, and like you say, Pat Dobbs, that was a very shrewd and very, very good ride. I mean, you can see they just sort of all in a big bunch, whips out and gathering, and they do probably need a little bit of guidance. These babies, like the little first day at school, isn't it? They
it's
need
their
a
first,
bit of help.
for a lot of them, it's their first day at sort of big girl school, as it were.
Big girl
because they're up in grade, aren't they?
school.
They're going for black type. A lot of them, like you said, Rock Melody.
Or they've had very little experience, so they'll come on from it, won't they? And these are the best races though to learn for the future. Like you said, these are the ones where we can really put our comments down and try and assess them for the next time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, I mean, Desert Dreamer has been beaten, Marc, but a boost for that quick Susie form. And Richard Hanna with the winner there in system. Was there anything else in the market? Because I think Del Mona must have gone fairly short, and a couple of others, Cachet might have traded fairly short as well, as they at some point looked like they had a chance.
Cash's traded short as around 15 to 8, around 2.8 for small money, around £7, £18, but nothing massive. Del Mona, I mean, well, that one's actually been traded at 1.26. I don't think that was ever a 1.26 chance. You obviously have that deceiving camera angle at Newmarket sometimes where you think they're in front, maybe in the far side. But yeah, I'm not sure who backed that. They've definitely done their money there. But yeah, I'm with you on this. I do think, especially for the 2-year-olds, if you've got that rail, I think it's a massive advantage in Newmarket on that course.
Yeah, absolutely. Then SP-wise, system 22 to 1, Desert Dreamer 11 to 2, and Cachet 3 to 1. What was the Betfair SP for system, Marc?
System, it's a 40 poke. Unfortunately, we just backed the wrong outsider in this race.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm disappointed, Marc, because you're our big price man today. I thought you were gonna pull any 20 plus 1.
I'm not after it, but I did have a wee look at it last night, but I went off it. I went for Jersey Rose instead. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, she's won fairly nicely, but we will see how that rail unfolds throughout the day over at Newmarket. But yeah, everything coming down the middle. So far, like I said, we had the winner come down everything came down the near side for the first race, and then went over to the far side for the second race. They've come down the middle for the third race, and then the winners come down the rail.
Oh, God.
Do we have any other options?
Don't confuse me anymore. I'm trying to get my head around this race.
I think, can we split into 2, maybe? Well, that's what we haven't had, isn't it? We can split into 2, maybe?
Well, it will be interesting to see in the next race at Newmarket if all the jockeys now have a race to try and get towards the stand side rail, or if they just head towards the middle.
Yeah.
There's only 4 or 5 in the next, and it's not a very big
bend
field,
as well, of course, to contend with.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Might have even something to try and make all up the stand side rail, which is quite a popular way to win at Newmarket, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, just to mix it up, maybe one will just break ranks and go over to the far side as well, like it's Catterick or Epsom in heavy ground, just to mix it up.
It's a very weird track, isn't it? Because it's downhill virtually all the way to that uphill finish. I often get confused because people say, "Oh, Newmarket's quite a stiff track." It is not really a stiff track. It's got a stiff finish, but generally speaking, it's quite a sort of speed track because it is literally downhill all the way to that uphill finish, and it's only the last furlong that is uphill.
Yeah, I was looking at the standard times for sort of the 5 furlongs at Newmarket versus Ascot. Saying I think it's about 2 seconds, which is it's huge difference, isn't it? Two
huge.
seconds
Yeah,
in a 5 furlong race.
Massive.
Like 12 lengths, isn't it, almost?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
insane.
So,
Put it into context, yeah. Crikey.
so very different tracks to contend with. But like you said, it's the visual now of watching the horses kind of unexpectedly suddenly hit that uphill finish.
Yeah, I don't know how you commentate on that at all, honestly. That is...
Well, you're doing the next, so...
I am. No, it was good. It was an exciting race. Like I say, I wouldn't have had a system, but well done. Great.
Yeah, give us a shout if you did back.
Yeah, well
system.
done.
Huge price there at about a 40s SP on the exchange for that juvenile race. Next up, it's the Chipchase Stakes, the William Hill Chipchase Stakes, 220 at Newcastle here. What a little contest this is. It is a very hot sprint, and Kazam has decided that he's had enough of taking on the Palace Piers of this world, and he's going to take on the sprinters. He's about 3.65 to back. Diligent Harry and Tabdeed and Cardam all at single figures as well. Fascinating favourite here, Marc, and the market very strong with him, despite the fact that this is a whole new thing for him. But the punters are with him.
Yeah, the backers are definitely keen on this one. Very, very strong on the Betfair Exchange all morning. It's been matched around 5.7 for small money, and they've just been absolutely piling in around 4.7, 4.6. Could easily see this one going off around maybe the 9 to 4 mark on the Betfair Exchange. Does have decent form in the book, but I'm going to oppose this one. I'm going to use the win and additional place market here on the Betfair Exchange, and I think I've maybe found one at a price. We've got a bit of value here, and that's Carl Burke's Ainsdale. It's currently a 40 poke on the Betfair Exchange right now. Has been quite weak in the betting, but I think a solid run behind Liberty Beach at Haydock in the Temple Stakes Group 2 on the 22nd of May, and obviously Liberty Beach ranked up form next time, and Ascot finishing 3 lengths behind Roger Fell's Oxtead in the King Stands Stakes Group 1. Only a 4-year-old, still has room for improvement. First time on the weather is a question mark, but if he handles the surface, I could see him going very well here. And obviously to showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities, what we're going to do, we're going to have a £25 win at 42s currently on the Betfair Exchange, and we'll use the capabilities. We use the 4-place market. He's currently 5.5. I mean, I'm happy to be a price taker there in the 9 to 2 mark for the 4-place market.
Okay, yeah, 25 win and 25 place at 9 to 2 in 4-place markets. So that's all been matched.
You just repeat back his account number there, please, Graeme. That'd be great. Okay, a big price one for Marc then in the Chipchase. This is a cracking race. Are you with the horse trying sprinting for the first time, or are we going for something who's been in these ranks for a while?
I'm taking a little bit of a punt here on,
Here we go. Good.
on the lady, Chill.
Okay, nice.
Now, she's such a likeable mare. She's a likeable sort. She has got a smart turn of foot, to be fair. What concerns me really, Ross, is if she can keep up with like the finishing turn of foot of Kazam, Diligent Harry, whether she can actually just, because they are such strong finishers, whether she can do it. But it was interesting, of course, Andrew had to pull her out of the Wokingham because of the biblical rain we had.
Yeah.
So she'll be
a target since she won easily at Newmarket.
Yeah. So obviously now rerouted here, but should be on top form. Obviously only last week, so should be absolutely prepped to go. And of course, Andrew, who had a great Royal Ascot horses, are clearly in good form. So I think Chill has a good chance. But Kazam looks an absolute natural in the all-weather. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That is quite important. I mean, look, just
absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, the horse. I mean, the
cracking turn of foot as well.
Kicked clear and murdered them. But it's a very different test, Graeme.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hugely different, isn't it? Just very funny because I can't help myself. I have to say this, even though it honestly wasn't my text. Someone texted me last week after Royal Ascot, and they texted me and said, "Since when did Andrew Baldwin become an amazing trainer?" Which is like,
It was a very good Ascot.
It was an amazing Ascot he had, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it just shows you. We've said it a lot of times, and I've said it before. If these trainers can get the right horses, that essentially is the most important thing. And Andrew Baldwin getting the right horses has made the difference all of a sudden last week. Fantastic week for the Baldings, and I expect they're going to kick on from here because they were all 2-year-olds, weren't they, as well? They're good prospects for the years to come. So. I, again, didn't like the look of this race too much from a punting perspective. It was another one that I thought I'd give the swerve. I do like Diligent Harry as a horse. I think that he's very good. Obviously, beaten only a short head by Rohan, who blitzed them, didn't he, in the Wokingham. And
that turn of foot, that was
very good. Yeah, he really was rapid. But it'll be interesting. Stall 2, is that going to be the wrong place, right place? We might get a little bit more of a guide from this race as to whether that stand side is a huge bias or whether just Edge Delard was just far better than them. I suspect there's not a lot in it, but we will see.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a swerve, but it's an interesting watching race, Ross.
Okay, I quite like Tabdeed here. I mean, obviously, we're talking similar connections, but David Probert's 1 from 1 on the horse. The horse has a fantastic record off the back of a break. After 100 days off, it's first, second. I mean, it's got just a generally good record in general, but it beat the Tin Man. It finished second to Glen Shiel at the track. It was only sent off 9-1 behind Dreamer Dreams in a fantastic sprint. I couldn't quite understand why it wasn't sort of challenging Kazan for favouritism, really.
I think just because it's not really been the easiest. It's been quite well documented, and I think that can be enough to put people off. But certainly the talent's there.
Yeah.
What do we make of Cardham? Has he become a bit of a thief, that horse? Twice beaten at short odds recently.
He's the horse. I mean, I've probably backed him every single run. So again, he's the one I have abandoned today. So. That system nearly.
I thought it was very, very disappointing that he couldn't get the job done last time in what I thought was a fairly weak race. He got turned over by line of departure.
He needs a good gallop though, and I think it was a bit of a.
It was a funny race, wasn't it?
A funny race at Salisbury, yeah. Marc, quickly, last couple going in. Any great smashers?
Yeah, just going to Kadam. He was done at 2s on last time at Salisbury. Probably one to avoid for win purposes. But yeah, my selection, Ainsdale, I mean, actually went out to 90-1. I don't know if he may have lost a leg going down the post, but it's back in around 50s. But yeah, Kazim Strong at the top of the betting, 3.7 around 11-4 mark. Diligent Harry, 9-2 around 5.9. But yeah, competitive stuff. I'll be interested to see where they go, and if they come up the stand side, the winner. After another track bias here.
Okay, last one going in. Remember to produce kept telling me we've got two social comments for this race. Completely forgot them, so we'll see if we can after time after this race. So good luck as they race for the Chipchase Stakes. And again, are they all going to come down this near side rail? It looks like they might well do with good effort down this near side rail. The favourite Kazam pulling a little bit is Cardem, but you know that is his way. Diligent Harry, interesting move here by Hector Crouch to pretty much blast off down the middle of the track, ignore everything else, and he's got about a 2-length lead over good effort. Down this near side Kazan, we've also got Folas held up his Tabdeed and Highland Dress in there as well, but they're starting to come back together a little bit here, but split by the width here, but good effort has got this near side rail, Graeme. Yeah,
he's going quite well on the near side, isn't he? And the one behind him's going quite well as well. I think Diligent Harry might have done a little bit too much fast pace according to this to the sectional, so we'll see how they're going to finish. But good effort kicking on from the front, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Good effort's kicked on. Kazam is in striking position as well. Tabdi's looking for a gap, and the old favourite Cardem as well.
Here
but
comes
it is good
Chill
down this near side. Chill with a gap as well. Tabdi hoping to come through late. Good
Come
effort.
on, Chill.
Tabdi, Chill throwing down a challenge, but good effort has this near side rail. How much is it going to help? Chill throwing down that late challenge. Good effort. He's getting collared by Chill, and Chill goes on to beat good effort. Diligent Harry and Tabdi back in fourth. And I said Newcastle was tough, not for Natalie Green. That's 2 from 2 on the day. Chill. It's a good job it rained in the Wokingham.
It is a good job. No, but I just know that she'd have been. I'm not saying the others aren't on point for this. Of course, they flipping all that's racehorses to get them ready for the day. But I just know it would have been absolutely primed to perfection. And I was worried that she might be able to keep that turn of foot. But she has.
Yeah.
She has done it. And she showed a bit of tenacity, hasn't she, actually, in this?
She came home very well. And it's just very lucky that Natalie didn't go home after she had the first 2 in the first place.
Absolutely,
We'd all be sitting here with no
but look, she's seen the gap. She's gone for it. And I was really worried she wasn't going to get ahead up here. But she's actually won quite comfortably.
She seems to be pretty much... the same at whatever kind of track they run her at your Newmarkets, Ascots, Newcastle.
Tenacious.
She's clearly got plenty of ability, Marc. Interesting race that, because like I said, it looked like a couple of them had kicked on. Good efforts, probably run quite well from the front. But did anything go short? What about the favourite Kazan? Because he's chopped away very tamely in the end.
Yeah, it was a good shout from Natalie there. Chill. It's BSP 9.7. It's at 14.5 for small money. I think obviously looking at good effort, I think this one did go quite short. I think it was around the 6-4 mark, 2.5 for 93 £3. I'm just looking at the favourite just now. Again, they did look like they sort of all got together in the final furlong there, but I'm just looking. This one's hit around even money for £146 a favourite. I think the selection, the Ainsdale actually ran a good race, had every chance. I think he finished 6th in the end, so just out the placings. We'll see what price that one went on running. That one's actually traded around 19.5. Potentially could have been a nice back delayed, but yeah. Onwards and upwards to the next race. I'll maybe let Natalie pick the next one at Newcastle at the form that she's in right now.
Absolutely, that's 2 from 2 now. Chill.
Because I'm looked, I don't know, I'm not that happy with that. Just sort of.
Yeah, what happened there? Do you think it's a case? I mean, we're talking about a class horse clearly, but he has been very good on the all-weather. But he's been racing on a bend over 7 furlongs. He's gone over a bend over a mile at Sandown last time out. In terms of how horses are, conditioned and how they are taught how to race, that would have been quite different to what he's used to.
It just looks like he's given up a bit there. He's gone, it's all right. He's just gone. Didn't have the fight.
No.
It was a sort of weird Newcastle-y race, wasn't it?
That was weird from Kazan though. It was kind of there and then just went.
Is there a potential that a horse like that, Graeme, when it's racing at a new trip against different rhythms of the race, potentially uses the energy up?
Yeah.
Part of the race.
Yeah, that's possible, isn't it? I thought Diligent Harry was doing in the middle there. I thought, but in the end, he kept on quite well for third. And the runner-up, good effort, come up the stand side round, made the running. And they're sitting there watching the sectionals on Sky Sports Racing, and the sectionals are coming up fast. And you think, right, well, something will definitely come from behind. Yeah. And then the second and third are the two that are there the whole way. And that's what you're saying about Newcastle, really. You sit there and go, they're going fast, something should be coming off the pace, and then nothing does, and they just keep up the gallop in front. There is a funny wind, I'm told, at Newcastle that sort of swirls around there, and I wonder if...
studio. Just checking. You weren't warning me.
I just wonder if there was a tailwind in that race. It's hard to know, isn't it? Maybe we'll get out there with a wind gauge.
You probably have got onto something there with the bend. With Kazan, but I can't say, they're not, I mean, horses, they can be clever, but they can also be incredibly stupid. They can. I don't know what you take from that. It'd be interesting to see.
But you're right, but we were talking about Newcastle earlier. Yeah, so far, what you could say about that race is you want to be prominent down the near side or the middle, or held up down the near side or the middle.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Does that make it, Mark, that just makes it, I mean, it makes it a bit difficult for him in running, betting purposes and trading on the exchange and whatnot, because, really, you want a bit of a bias. You want to know where to draw your eye, don't you? But with a track like Newcastle, you're kind of looking at everything.
Yeah, I think the race complexion can change. It reminds me of Kempton quite a lot. I mean, obviously you got that false running on the whole race complexion. You can be 2-3 lines clear and get caught. I did think the favourite ran a strange race there. It just sort of stopped. I actually thought that one probably would have been a bit shorter in running there. But certainly not one that I'd be touching and hunting anyway. But I think for today, for betting purposes, you definitely want to be drawn stand side or in the centre. It's actually a good run from Diligent Harry, because that one was very, very keen early on. I expected that one to fall away. Ran a good race to hold on to the placings there.
He's quite good, isn't he? I think little Diligent Harry.
Yeah. You get the feeling we don't quite know how good, because things probably didn't necessarily.
Let's remember, he's a 3-year-old, isn't he? Against older sprinters there, and he's raced on his own in the middle, quite keen, and still finished third.
Well, because he was in the Commonwealth Cup as well, and I think he was quite fancy. But obviously
we could be looking at a strong group of 3-year-old sprinters, couldn't we? Thinking of it, when you look at Rohan and the Commonwealth Cup, the two
Dragon
that
Symbol
came miles clear, Dragon Symbol.
He might be exciting as well, didn't Harry? Because he's got quite a bit of size about him.
Yeah.
Physically, he's quite a big. That I always quite like to see that, because you're going to think he's even going to get even stronger and really get to grips. I think
before today, the only horse who would beat him was Rohan, who is officially, the best sprinter around this season.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Doesn't Harry? It was
Clive Coxon sprinters.
Yeah, he's not bad with those sprinters, is he?
And also, is there potentially an angle here of horses that get pulled out late on heavy ground at Ascot and then go for the engagement next week, isn't there? Because that's
first and third. First and third in that race. Yeah. All the umbrellas are up. Yeah, I was just about to say, I wonder how the ground's going, but of course it's not a turf race, is it? Standardly standard, constantly standard up at Newcastle. Apologies to you watching at home again. We did get some social comments saying I got told twice in my ear, but. It was my fault. I talked too much, Ross. That was what
Not me.
That's all right. But did we have a? Should we have to tie? Did we have a winner? Did anyone take
one win?
Certainly not from me on this occasion.
All right. Okay. So look, I think we probably did the viewers at home a favour by not putting that up on screen. But I promise, if you put it in now, if you comment on the live chat now for this next race, I'll definitely mention it. Unless
you get 100.
Yeah, unless we get 100 of it. In which case, we'll all go home and you can just do the show. But yeah, Chill wins the Chipchase Stakes, which is a bit of a mouthful to say. We'll be over to Newmarket in a second for the 240 It's at Smallfields at Fred Archer Stakes, listed race over a mile and a half. We've also got the Curragh coming a little bit later on as well. We're talking about Royal Ascot form. So far, if you ran at Royal Ascot and were well beaten, or you didn't run at Royal Ascot because the ground was against you, it wasn't. It's been all right, hasn't it? So we've got another one coming up. We've got another horse who was pulled out because of bad ground at Ascot, and that is Logician.
Yes.
For the next race at Newmarket, who's currently trading around even money. Desert Encounter is about 5-1. Outbox Pablo Escobar, Winter Reprise, and Mrs. Hyde. Max Vega doesn't go. And Logician, the skipping Ascot trends have worked so far, Marc. But you want to get this horse beat every time he runs.
Yeah, you can tell, can you? But yeah, we were on the show a few weeks back, Ross, and we took Logician on the place market. I was unfortunately couldn't get him out the free on that occasion. Lassie was mightily impressive that day. I won't be utilising the place lay on this occasion because I think this is a much weaker race today, and I want to be taking a different approach here to try and make some profit. I still don't think Logician will produce that 3-year form, which saw him winning the St Ledger at Donny. But on a better surface today, and you'd expect that last run could have blown away the cobwebs. Desert Encounter second favourite doesn't fill me with confidence for win purposes either. But that run behind Love at Ascot on the 16th of June was encouraging. Looked a likely winner on the 23rd of April in the Gordon Richards Stakes Group 3 at Sandown. I mean, BSP of 50s, he's hit 2.24 and 5-4 and running that day. Always comes late, Desert Encounter. Could be the potential back to lay for in-running punters on the Betfair Exchange. All the others, I thought Pablo Escobar was interesting as well. I had excuses last time at Newmarket and was hampered. But how we're going to play this, because the way I sort of see this race going, I just think Logician could absolutely hack up or be absolutely out the free here. How we're going to play is we're going to back Desert Encounter in the place only 2 market here, Graeme. I think this one will be running on strongly, so Logician will probably potentially absolutely hack up or be out the free. But we'll back Desert Encounter in the 2-place market. We want to be playing here. It's currently 2.36. We'll have a £50 straight win on that. I'm happy to be a price taker.
Okay, yeah, £22 match, £50 match. So that's on what?
Yeah, I found it very difficult to just to lay Logician because it's such a weak race. So I thought the angle was to back the consistent Desert Encounter in a place mark because I know this one will be running on strong.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Marc. Then Desert Encounter to run on into a place. Now, I promised if you commented we would read it out, so let's see who's got in touch. Watching at home at Kinky Cadet. Lovely stuff. Thanks for all your service. Laid big on Logician. Let's hope he runs to form. Praying emoji, $ tongue out emoji, praying emoji.
Lots of emoji-tastic.
Oh, I love an emoji.
Yeah.
What's your favourite emoji?
I do a lot of thumbs up. That's so boring. You could have given me more time to think. My brain doesn't work that quickly.
That's fine. You've got an hour and a half.
It's a lot of this,
Thumbs up.
Because it kind of just is a bit for everything, isn't it? Yes, great, cool. See you
Next
later.
time you have a winner.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Koala bear for me. I've got to be honest. I've got something for the koala bear. But anyway, Logician, even money favourite here. You talk about Pablo Escobar. I quite like it. About even money, Marc, if I'm not incorrect, about him to finish in the 3.
Are you edging for a match bet here, Ross?
Sure, absolutely.
Desert Encounter and Pablo Escobar. Yeah, Pablo Escobar is 1.97. There is a bit of value there as well. I certainly wouldn't put you off that if you're a backer. 1.98. There's 13,000 in the market.
Yeah, he just looks a horse who has a real kind of class ceiling. You sort of put him in a listed or a Group 3 race and he runs up to form, lump him up into Group 2 company and things don't necessarily go to plan. But he beat Desert Encounter at Goodwood, of course, last year. He was only beaten half a length in this race as well. So I think Pablo Escobar, again, Logician even, would I rather back Logician to win at the same price as Pablo Escobar to finish in the 3? Not for me. So, Nat, what is for you here?
Yeah, it's very difficult because I think obviously Logician on his day wins this easily. Yeah. No problem.
His day was a while ago.
I know, exactly. But he had peritonitis, peritonitis. Like, it's very similar to colic. It can be like a perforation or something into the intestine, into the colon. It's the amount of time that the horse spent in hospital that's a real problem. To say that would have knocked the wind out of his sails is an underestimation. And it's really negative for them to be in an equine hospital for that amount of time. If he comes back, fantastic. And the only thing with peritonitis is once it's gone, it has gone.
Yeah.
So once you've cured it, you have cured it. It's so you could
It's not a
argue.
chronic condition.
No, it's not a chronic condition, so you can argue, well, if it's gone, it's a big task. But Desert Encounter is my pick in this race. Sorry for the long-winded answer.
No, I enjoyed it. Dr. Green.
Dr. Green. But he's been in great form this year, and it was the replay I watched, and he was second to Valkonig that really impressed me. So Desert Encounter for me.
Yeah, Desert Encounter, you could pretty much say watch by this horse in these kind of races. This is the thing, you've got these listed in Group 3, mile and a half, 10 furlong races, Graham. It's I don't know, I'm not going to say rogues gallery, but you get a lot of sort of also runs who turn up every year in these kind of races.
He's a funny horse, isn't he? Desert Encounter. He's got a lot of ability. He travels like an express train, but you have to get there quite late with him, don't you? And Jamie Spencer's been bit of a master on him in the past, bringing him late, but he hasn't ridden him recently. Callum Shepherd, don't know how well he knows the horse. Hasn't ridden him recently, that's for sure.
He won yesterday at Yarmouth on a horse called Inveigle, Callum Shepherd. I got a little emotional. I was like, I didn't think Spencer was on this. It was a very Spencer-esque ride, so I wonder if...
Do you think that that might be part of the plan?
Maybe.
Master plan from David Simcock, who rides like Spencer. Oh yeah, Callum Shepherd. Maybe, you've got to be taking Logician on at evens, haven't you, on this sort of ground as well. I'm not convinced that he really wants, it's quick ground, isn't it? Fast ground. I'm not sure he wants really fast ground on a downhill track where they're sort of up and down and bumps and lumps. Not sure that's ideal for him. Long striding horse, quite slow, power finish.
Yep.
Not sure. Can see him being outpaced and then rattling home for second or third.
Where is the pace here?
I think Outbox is my selection here, and I think Outbox might make all under Holly. I think Holly Doyle might lead them all here up the stand side rail with any luck. She's drawn in stall 2, which is virtually right on that stand side rail. You want to be low if you want to be on that rail, and she is going to be, I guess the stalls are in the middle. They were in the last race, but I guess she will come towards the stand side rail as they go around that bend, and there's no point in coming off it, is there? What's the point? You've just seen a couple of winners come right up the stand side rail. And just a very consistent, tough, genuine horse. I think this race will set up nicely for Outbox. He is one of my better bets of the day, Outbox.
Yeah, they've done a great job with Outbox because apparently it was really difficult at home. Very difficult to sort out. So fair play. They've ironed out problems at home with it.
Holly Doyle gets on really well with this horse. She really knows him well, and I think that she can dictate this.
Okay, there we go. So pretty much, we've tipped Desert Encounter, Outbox and Pablo Escobar between us. So we know what's going to happen here,
Magician
Marc.
wins.
Magician absolutely bolts up. Now odds on, I think, Marc.
Yeah, 1.95 on the Betfair Exchange for win purposes. We actually do have a match bet market here. We've got Desert Encounter versus Pablo Escobar. There's just over 1,000 in the market right now. Desert Encounter is 1.65 to back. Pablo Escobar around the 6-4 mark, 2.52. But yeah, Logician really hasn't moved. I think the shortest we went about 1.93 out to about 2.1. I don't think they can really make their mind up here. Obviously, we've got 4 minutes for the authors, around 350,000 in the market right now, expecting on 100 to 200,000 to enter. There's a little bit of money for, it's quite interesting, David Manure's Winter Reprise, that's around 12 to 1. That was bigger this morning. That was around a 20 chance. A bit of money for that. But if there's any people playing and running here and trading, Outbox could be a perfect back to lay here. As well with Desert Encounter with the running styles, because Outbox could get a cheap lead here. It's a good point from Graeme as well with the ground fact with Logician. I just think laying this one outright, you could easily have egg on your face here because you'd actually hack up or be out the 3. That's the way that I see this race unfolding.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Well, the worry for me if I'd laid Logician would be that he goes out and makes it, and then just pounds them into the ground, because he's that sort of horse, isn't he?
You shouldn't need to, though. I mean, you're saying about Winter Reprise, obviously a horse we haven't seen too much of, only twice in this country, but has made the running on, I think it's last 3 or 4 starts, and David Menuisier is in cracking form. He's banging in winners, and he is one of those trainers who they seem to, they come out all at once and they win, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, loves a bit of Sandown action.
Loves a bit of Sandown.
Does David. And
Yeah,
that's
David.
The winners there. Yeah, David. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, David
right,
Menuisier.
It's funny.
Yeah.
In what way?
Always. He's like you. He's just funny, isn't he? He's a funny character.
Odd. Is
No, funny. He's funny. I love watching interviews and podcasts. He's funny.
Yeah, he's got.
He's charismatic.
It's nice to see. Some trainers flat out refuse to show their personality, but you feel like you can't even keep that in for him.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
This one is a potential pace angle, isn't he?
Yeah.
Winter Reprise, and he is in stall 1 on the inside of Outbox. but I just don't see these two taking each other on. I think one will take
surely,
a lead off
surely
the
not
other.
with Holly. Holly's too smart for that. She's
Yeah.
too smart as a jockey.
Yeah,
would have thought
she
so.
is studious. But Winter Reprieve, I just thought, again, I'm going to have egg on my face here. I just thought, watching replays, just a little bit of a sort of knee rolling action. Looks more like a little bit of cut in the ground would suit his action, well, I could be completely wrong.
No, but I mean, that would make
Just
sense.
a little
given
bit
it's-
more of just knee rolling, which I like to sit, I call them little daisy cutter. I like them to skip on top
Yeah.
on the faster ground. That's the only looking at it from physically.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's. I mean, there are obvious sorts of Quickthorn, for example, at Ascot last week, where he's got such an extreme action. You see some horses are almost kind of kneeing themselves in the face. They've got such extreme actions, and other horses, are very straight-legged. So we're just watching Logician on a replay here. Of course, this was his. He had a night. Like I said, he was ill. He had a nightmare season last year. Nothing really went to plan, and you got the feeling this was It was to give him a blowout, wasn't he? And he's run into a Group 1 horse as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He's been very well backed here, Mark. The money's piling in.
Yeah, the backers are queuing up for this one. There's nearly 550,000 in the market now. It's 1.89 on the Betfair Exchange. Pablo's taking a bit of a drift here out. It's a 9-1, 9.8. Desert Encounter stronger in the 5-1 mark. Outbox 7.4. Yeah, it looks like Winner Reprise strong as well around 12-1, but it looks like the backers are coming out to play here and they're actually queuing up on Logician here.
Okay, I think we have one more social comments for this 240 at Newmarket. MFME Madness. Mrs. Hyde to win. Someone had to mention her.
Yeah, look, she's been used from bumpers and over hurdles, to be fair, for Brian Ellison. It's not the worst shout. It's not impossible she can hit the frame, but
It's
20 days ago, Catterick flat was just a third, so.
yeah, she's not quite a
Bit
mad
of a-
moose, but it's
Bit of a step up to
a very
go
different.
past Logician and
surely can't win. Surely, I've said this before, and then they almost do.
Yeah. What? I'm currently 270 on the exchange,
that.
but they are ready and they're racing for the Fred Archer Stakes.
Come on, Holly, get on that rail.
Let's see how this early pace unfolds and
Yes.
whether that rail will be bagged by
The break that
Holly
doesn't
on
count.
outbox, or whether Winter Reprise for
Oh,
James
she's
Doyle
going
will
down
come
the
down to
middle.
the inside rail. Desert Encounter held up as ever as they start to come into a bit more of an angle that we can work out. And Winter Reprise is on the speed. Outbox just half a length behind. Then Logician sat in, to be fair, the perfect spot. Behind those, Mrs. Hyde, Pablo Escobar may be pulling a little bit, and Desert Encounter is held up for his customary late run. But so far, nothing's on the rail, Graeme.
No, nothing's on the rail. They're just racing a couple off of it, aren't they? And Winter Reprise is leading. I thought might get the easy lead here with Outbox. Not quite developed in that way, although he's nicely settled, I think, under Holly in second. Logician nicely in third, and Mrs. Hyde sweated up quite badly the 150 to 1 shot for MFFE Madness.
Yeah.
It's still going well, but you'd be a bit worried if anything was off the bridle now, wouldn't you, Ross?
You would be. Albeit Mrs. Hyde must be a bit confused about what's going on here. She's waiting for the hurdle to arrive.
They are coming up towards the Sandside rail now. The leader, James Doyle, is coming up the Sands rail on Winter Reprise.
Yeah, and that's had an impact on the market, Mark, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, Winner Reprise currently 8.8 and running here. I think they've absolutely crawled early on here, which obviously play into this one's hands. I mean, the favourite Logician's around even money, travelling quite well. Desert Encounter 4-1 and running here, but will he get a run up the inside on that rail? He's probably going to have to switch out. But you think Outbox and Winner Reprise are going to get first run on Logician. Depends what's left in the tank for the favourite here. It's kind of around even money right now. It's not really moved.
Okay, and we've come up to with 4 furlongs to run then, and not much has changed. Winter Reprise, Outbox, Logician on the outside. Mrs. Hyde has got that rail. Desert Encounter switching out.
Starting to niggle at Logician now, Ross. Starting to get at him. He's getting outpaced.
They're going through the gears here. Yeah, Logician, Outbox is slowing it down, but of course Logician does stay very, very well indeed and has every chance. Pablo Escobar plugging on. Desert
Come on,
Encounter
Holly.
is behind those as well and isn't picking up a lot, but it looks like Logician
Come
here
on,
comes
Holly.
Pablo Escobar with a chance as well. Outbox still battling on. Logician
Come on,
will he
Holly.
get back to that ledger form and outside Outbox, or is Outbox going to keep going? It's still Outbox
Come on,
out in
Holly.
front. Pablo Escobar plugging up
Come on,
and down
Holly.
the spot. And down this near side rail, Holly Doyle
Come
has
on,
got
Holly.
Outbox and has careered away. Outbox is going to go and beat Logician. Pablo Escobar might challenge him for second. He's going up and down on the spot though. And Outbox,
Easy money, Ross. Easy money.
Well done.
lovely
Beautiful
tip
from
by Graeme
Holly.
Rodway, beats
Well done.
Logician into second. And from a personal perspective, Pablo Escobar finishing third is just as good as an Outbox winner. But Graeme, what a lovely price there aboard Outbox. And I mean, it didn't necessarily go to plan because he thought it might get an easy lead. But as soon as Winter Reprise dropped away, it was, I'm not going to say never in doubt, but always seemed like Holly had Logician covered.
Yeah, very happy there. That was always travelling nicely, and Logician ran exactly as I thought he might do. He travel well, then get outpaced, and then run on into his place. So, very, very happy with that result, Ross.
Absolutely, and Logician. You were saying if he bounces back to his very best, he's going to be fairly hard to beat, but he's clearly not been his best since that Ledger win, has he?
No, it wasn't too bad though. That was quite encouraging. Winter Reprieve, sorry, I'm going to stick with I think, more cut in the ground for Winter Reprieve. Didn't enjoy that. Desert Encounter, I'm quite disappointed. Don't really think, just couldn't really get through, but I just don't make excuses. I don't think it was, I think it was just...
I think coming from...
a bit disappointed.
Coming from last, the way that race unfolded was quite a tough...
Yeah, well, he also, look at this break now. He rears little bunny hops out the stalls, but that's not enough to say. I think it was just... I was a bit disappointed that run. Logician, it is in front, but outbox, brilliant.
Very happy.
Well done, Hull.
Very
well done,
happy.
Holly.
Yeah, great ride by Holly.
Really great ride by Holly. But look, it's lovely, lovely rhythm.
She's so good, isn't she, Holly?
So good. Look at her. She's so neat.
Yeah.
Keeps it very simple.
Yes.
Just how I like to see my jockeys, and don't overcomplicate it. Lovely in the right position the whole way. Always just ahead of Logician. Always just going to get first run on him.
Well, we were talking earlier about jockeys and instructions and whether higher profile jockeys get that kind of thing, but you do see some jockeys who obviously have extreme examples, like your Spencers who are held up a lot, or your D'Souza's who, or even Theodore Ladd. I think I saw someone on Twitter. Someone was doing a lot of sort of pace maps of jockeys, and Theodore Ladd makes them running on, I think, 95% of the time. She clearly has one way of doing it. But every time you see Holly Doyle, you never think, I'm not sure about that position.
No.
She's always, she's clearly thinking about it.
It's funny, he's changed legs a few times outbox. Skipped around a bit, just changed his legs, but she's managed to just keep a lid on it, and then to success. Good ride, Holly.
There we go. Outbox wins, and there's something in the inbox. A social comment coming in here from Kinky
quick,
Cadet.
It's Kinky.
Kinky's lay of the day on Logician pays out big time. The praying emojis have gone, and it's just the dollar tongue emoji.
Interesting.
Lovely stuff.
Well done, Kinky.
Well done, Kinky. Clip that out of context. Marc, tell us about the market.
Yeah, Outbox surprisingly actually hit 11s and running for £82. Holly Doyle had this one in a great spot early on, and I think the early sections were very slow in the perfect spot. And it's, again, Logician, as soon as this one came off the bridle, I didn't think it was ever going to go past. That's went as low as, I think this one went quite short. It was a 1.8 for a few grand. Yeah, it was the £145 done at 1.8, 2,000 done at 1.81, 11,000 at 1.82. I didn't think that one ever looked like winning. And I think Desert Encounter as well, the way the race was run, because you could never get into it. That one went as low as 3-1 in running. Never looked like a 3-1 chance for me. I was quite concerned after 2 to 3 furlongs with the pace that we're going. Needs a faster pace, this one. But yeah, good shout by G on Outbox there. Done it well.
Yeah, we were talking about the panel trying to tip winners throughout the day. If Desert Dreamer had got up, we'd be gone through the card pretty much. But apart from the 22 to 1 2-year-old winner, you've done all right.
We're doing all right. We're doing a lot better than we did at Royal Ascot when I was on last week. That's for sure. Ross, what do you think about Logician maybe going up in trip? I think he's a bit slow, Ross.
Jump Sire?
Well,
is that his future? Is that
still
a bit
an
harsh?
entire, isn't he? He's still an entire.
That's a bit harsh, but
That's a bit harsh.
well, yeah, but your Scorpions, your Ledger winners who maybe had a few problems or quirks.
Yeah.
Goodwood Cup for him. If he was mine, Goodwood Cup, straight there, and see if he goes over 2. He's won a Ledger, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He should be staying well, and he just lacks a turn and change of gear. He's very strong at the finish, though.
Yeah.
Maybe not as strong as he was though today.
Yeah, absolutely. Marc, and are you just going to keep taking him on? Is there any?
Logician.
Yeah. Is there any circumstances where you would change your mind?
Yeah, today was close. I was thinking about laying him. I just thought it was such a weak race. And the way the race unfolded, it definitely didn't play to Logician's strength. And that was Holly Doyle again. Just a fantastic rider. She took advantage of those early sectionals. But I think you've got to drop him down to maybe listed company, and maybe we'll have a go. But he's going to be silly odds again. I think he was
listed company, Marc.
Yeah. Like, he got again. Like he was 1.15, 1.16 there in the free place market. I don't know what 60s on. It was a silly bet. But yeah, you just got to keep taking him on because I don't think he'll ever reproduce that 3-year-old form.
Can we stick him in the Ebor?
Yeah. I mean, he'll have a fairly bumpy weight, wouldn't he? But they went close with a, was it, I can't remember the horse now. Began with an M. Carried a big weight in the Ebor with the Gosdens. Never mind. Get in touch. Let us know.
The experts.
Speaking of staying handicaps, though, we should probably move on because we've got a couple of them to come at Newcastle. Would you rather win a vase or a plate? That's the question for you this afternoon. You might get a gold cup somewhere else, but you get a nice vase or a plate for your house for Newcastle's feature races today. Of course, this race is so long they can't actually fit the full title in. It's the William Hill Pick Your Places Northumberland Vase Handicap Consolation Race for the Northumberland. They actually ran out of letters for the plate. But this is understandably wide open. 19 of them run here. And East Asia, of course, Ian Williams has already captured a big race on the card at Newcastle with a sprinter. And this horse a very different proposition indeed, but he's in cracking nick. He comes into it off the back of a couple of very impressive wins. He's edging the favouritism ahead of Z-Band, Margaret Dumont, and there's a bit of money for Blow Your Horn, and then it's about 14's Bar. This is understandably wide open, but an Ian Williams favourite. Are Exchange punters sticking with a winning formula, Marc?
Yeah, stable's obviously in great form at the moment. This one's East Asia looks well handicapped, 3 from 3 for the Ian Williams yard, but does look quite competitive. It has been strong on the Exchange. It's currently 4.9, and obviously got the band for Roger variance. It's around a 5-1 chance. That was a promising reappearance run at Newmarket last month. It's entitled to come on for that run as a band. Step up and trip to 2 miles also looks a positive, but how I'm going to play this is I'm going to use the play sleeve facility in this race. I want to take on William Haggis's a start above in the place market. Had every chance last time out in a 4-runner race at Ponty. Had an easy lead that time and been hit 25s on and running, still couldn't win. 105 done for thousands. The winner that day, Furzig, pulled, did everything wrong, still won. Bit high in the weights for me, off 89, and both runs in all weather, haven't been great. So question marks over the trip as well. So I want to be taking on a star above in the place market. What was around 9-1, 10-1 in the win market has been quite weak. But how we're going to play is we're going to have a £50 stake on the 5 place market here. It's currently, I'm happy to be a price, see if we can get around maybe 2.96, 2.98, so we can get matched there just under 2-1. I think he's a bit high in the weight, so I'm not sure about the trip here.
Okay, so that has gone into the back column. So
now we're going to lay this one in the 5 place market.
Yeah, we're waiting for that to be matched. We've got £2.27 matched at the moment on the lay at 2.96, Mark. So it's lined up ready for backers to come in and take it.
Excellent. Thanks for that, G.
There we go. Thank you for that, Marc. So taking on a star above here. What's moving? What's shaking in the market, Marc? Any big drifters or big moves at big prices?
East Asia is obviously the big eye because it's very, very strong. Strong favourite here around 4-1. Off the outside, there's a little bit of money for Venetia Williams. This one's been quite popular in the sportsbook during the week. Bellatrixa is currently a 12-1 chance. This one was around 25-1 yesterday on the sportsbook. Cosmelli is obviously interesting as well. Red Force 1 around 36.44 on the Betfair Exchange. But again, looks absolutely wide open here. And yeah, I'm just hoping that East Asians, the band, can produce their form here and we can get a star above out the places here and get some profit for the charity.
Very well. Newcastle, the Queen of Newcastle, Natalie Green, you have been banging them in sprints. Can you do it in a 2-mile handicap?
I'm nervous about this pick, and it's Raymond.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going for Raymond. Has been in excellent form this year, and I just think hasn't quite hit the ceiling height of his progression. Unexposed, I think it was fair to say it was a career high at York, but that's positive for me because then hopefully comes here in great confidence. Yeah, a bit of a punt, this one. This has very much been on the cards for this horse, this race. I like that bit of race planning. I like when things are set out purposefully. So Raymond, he's by Taboog. Now Taboogs can be they're quite tough. Often these Taboos are quite charismatic as well. I used to ride a Taboog, and it was a feisty little lovely thing.
We're talking about quirky sires passing on those traits.
And Taboos can be you see a lot of people. I do a lot of ROR, retrained racehorses, and you see, have you got a Taboog? But they've got a big heart. They try. So Raymond, and also my father-in-law's called Raymond.
Now
So I'm going for it.
Yeah.
It all slots into place. If you
If in
don't know who
doubt.
to, if in doubt.
Always a good reason for a bet that.
Always a good reason, isn't it?
If there's something in the name, then that usually.
Which and you know, my mum's called Margaret Dumont, so that's what we're going with.
What a coincidence that is!
Sorry?
What a coincidence!
Yeah, it really is a coincidence.
Happens to be one in this.
Unbelievable. What's your pick for the consolation?
The consolation, this is a great race, isn't it? The favourite was one of the most impressive winners of a staying race all season, I thought, at Goodwood last time out, in a race that was running a fairly decent time, and I think that is quite a good race. I do the Racing Post ratings for the stayers, so anything over 1 mile and 5 is all my rating. So I gave it a pretty steep mark of 94, which has it absolutely thrown in here, East Asia, running off just 80, because he's able to race off of his all-weather mark, which is £7 lower than his turf mark, which to me looks a bit generous considering he's still very, very lightly raced in Britain. We don't know that he's a worse horse on the all-weather, but the handicappers are happy to assume that he is.
He hadn't won on the turf, he hadn't won on the all-weather, so you can hardly compare his Dubai form.
There's not enough evidence for me for him to be £7 lower.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very, it is different, isn't it?
To be fair to East Asia, you'd love to own a horse like this because it seems to go on any ground.
Yeah, he does. Nevertheless, he's not my selection. He's too short in the market for me, and I do like to go for ones at a price. Now, I initially, yesterday, sent over Vibrance as my selection, which is 40-1, and then sent over another one and said, no, we should probably change that to Braska. So that's the way I played it. I backed Braska each way for Rafe, King Rafe, as obviously Bruce would call him. Hector Crouch in the saddle, beaten a mile last time out at Chester. Nothing went right in that race. Previously, won quite a hot race with Dreamweaver in it. Dreamweaver reopposes. There was a neck between them that day. Won't be much between them here. Braska goes well on the all-weather, and I think he can resume his progress. Big old price, 25-1. So I backed Braska each way for me.
So have I. Yeah, I
agree.
Have you?
This horse won at Chelmsford last year. I've not seen many staying horses win as easily as this animal did, and I think you can put a line through his defeats in between those. And like you said, I thought he was holding Dreamweaver. So I've also had a bit on Braska, but I do think you're right about East Asia. I think he's potentially thrown in here. Ian Williams is a shrewd man. I mean, like I said, he didn't win on the dirt in over in Dubai, but did finish second and third. So shouldn't be a problem here as they race away at Newcastle for the consolation then. We've got a huge field here. We're talking about the draw. Interested to see how this works out. If that far side rail isn't the place to be, I wonder whether the wide drawn runners could come over and take advantage of not being stuck down that far side rail. Bellatrixer is going up to lead them early on. We've also got Rochester House, I think, coming through in his customary position early on. In fact, it's not Rochester House, that's Vibrance, isn't it? Coming down the outside with Raymond. Rochester House is on the inside. Behind those, we have a star above, East Asia, Z-Band, Margaret Dumont, Indigo Times, Braska, Cosmelli, Dreamweaver, Cleonte, Monsieur Lambray's Red Force One, Blow Your Horn, Alcoots, Autumn War, and is it Byron Hill? I think the only other one we haven't mentioned. So that's pretty much everything at Newcastle. But again, a fairly modest gallop here, it looks like, guys.
Yeah, it looks pretty even gallop, doesn't it? Bellatrixer for Venetia Williams. Now, she had Green Book do a similar thing at Chester when Braska won. When Braska ran terribly, Green Book, I think, won that race, made all the running. So her horses generally stay very well, don't they? So
They do.
Looks nicely placed, that leader, and quite happy with my selections. Braska just in midfield, Vibrance up in second. So, yeah, still hopeful at the moment, Ross, but a long way to go yet.
As an in-running punter, Marc, my experience of Newcastle round track is as soon as something makes the lead, it doubles in price. But doesn't seem to have happened with Bellatrixer.
Yeah, Bellatrix is currently, it's only went down a few ticks here, it means 13.9 BSP, is currently trading at 9.6 and running. Brask, I'm quite confused by that. That's actually doubled in price. It's actually 100 poking running here. I don't actually think they're going that fast here. East Asia's pulling a little bit. That one was low as 3-1 and running. It's 4.9 currently on the Betfair Exchange. The band's quite short as well. It's around 9-2, 5.6. The one that I laid a star above in the place market, I mean, that went off 15's BSP. That one's around 11.5. I'm not sure how much that one will find. But yeah, the one that is actually shortened quite a lot is Clenonte Sylvester de Souza. That's currently a 27 chance BSP 55s. So keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out whether it's being stuck wide that's made Braska's drifted. But yeah, they're going a fairly steady gallop for a staying handicap here. Where would you want to be, Nat?
I'm pleased with Raymond here.
Yeah, he's a lovely sit.
Yeah, really nice posse. Yeah, I'm delighted. I don't know what's going on right at the back. I don't know how you can see, Ross. All I can see is rain. I think my eyes checking. But
Autumn War, I think, is held about the back with Byron Hill.
Autumn War is not very happy at all. He's
Starting to race now. They're going now.
I would have thought being on the outside was a plus here, so I can't understand why we would drift significantly for being on the wide outside. I wonder where they're going to go in the straight here. Should be interesting, Ross.
Yeah. Like I said, on the jumpers bumpers over the winter, they were spread out all over the shop, and that far side rail was a bit of a nightmare. And obviously
They're
they
coming
were
off the far rail. They're going down the middle.
Yeah.
Bellatrix, Vibrance, Al Coot. Behind those, we've got Rochester House, East Asia travelling well. Z-Band still on the bridle. Autumn War is held up last, but still on the bridle, and he's coming down this near side, as is Braska.
Come on, Braska.
It's very, very murky. Z-Band is going down the far side, but he's on the
no,
bridle
what was
here,
that?
Z-Band. Raymond's got a
Z-Band
chance
is
as well.
cruising on
Star
the far
above is trying
side.
to pick up, blow your horn. Z-Band, if he finds anything, he's got to have a huge chance. Raymond, though, is off the bridle, but throwing down a challenge.
be another
Is
one for
Z-Band gonna
Natalie.
stay?
Come on,
Raymond, Indigo
Raymond.
Ties.
Be another
Behind
one.
those, we've got Bellatrix, blow your horn. Rochester House,
Hell.
Vibrance dropping away, but Z-Band travel like the best horse in the race and is still galloping out in front. Raymond's run a blinder, blow your horns running on. Autumn coming through with Margaret Dumont, who might get second, but it is Z-Band who hacks up, beats Margaret Dumont, blow your horn, Raymond and Autumn War. But that was a bit of a cakewalk there, guys, wasn't it?
Very impressive win from Z-Band, wasn't it? He was quite a promising horse last year, Z-Band. He ran in some hot staying handicaps, had a bit of a blowout at Newmarket first time out. Shaped as though maybe in either run. And did they stick headgear on there first time? Is that right?
visor on, yeah.
Yeah.
And I always think it is good with Varian and Andrea Zena when they partner up together. They have so much success, but it's a few things, isn't it? Really well suited by this trip with the visor, and best horse won.
Yeah.
I think that's
Draws 2 and 3. So inside draw, which is not been the general wisdom in recent years. Recent years you want to be drawn wide in these races for some unknown reason.
Although looking at it, Margaret Dumont has come wide, and yeah, again, it's. When you're looking at a race like that as well, you're also the horse is so superior to the rest that you are.
It doesn't seem to be a much across the track, does there?
No.
You can't have won by that far. If the far side was as disadvantaged as maybe you thought it would be, he couldn't have won by that far. I mean,
if it is that disadvantage, then the horse has got
a
two
Gold
stone
Cup
in
winner.
hand. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But Z-Band, I mean, obviously a well-backed horse in the market. Marc, obviously popular and recognisable colours as well. I can't imagine too much challenged him for a short price in running.
Yeah, impressive winner. And the race definitely did change at the 2-pole. I actually think the one that I actually laid a star above was coming in with a chance. I was quite surprised that, but it did fall away. That one's went as low as 3-1 and running, a star above for win purposes. Good shout again by Natalie Raymond. That one's went as short as 3.5, around 5-2. Did kick at the right time, had every chance. The band's hit 8.6 and running for small money for a fiver. Most of the money was done there around 5-1, but impressive winner. The other one that was quite popular was East Asia. I mean, that's only went as low. It's not really went below the BSP. That one pulled quite a lot. But I do think, again, they crawled early in the race. They didn't really start racing until 2 out. I think there was another one, the one that Jim Crowley was on. That one came with a late run, but was too far back. That one didn't really trade lower than the BSPs. I mean, 9.6 for £178 and went off 12-1. But I think the Roger Varian runners, the band, definitely want to keep on side. Definitely came on a lot for that reappearance run at Newmarket last month.
Yeah, Z-Band then. You were talking about Ebor.
Yeah, possible, isn't it? Roger Varian, of course, won that race last year, didn't he, with the horse in the same colours?
Yeah.
Prince something?
Oh, yeah.
Grey horse?
Yeah.
Was it Prince? Maybe not.
It's got a funny...
Fujairah Prince.
That's
Yes,
it.
yeah,
Fujairah Prince.
And last season, that was one of the themes of the whole season, was Roger Varian in staying races in Britain and Ireland. It was an incredible strike rate. It was a huge profit if you just backed Roger Varian's runners blind over a mile 6+. He took out almost all of the big staying handicaps, including the Copper Horse at Ascot with Fujairah Prince, the Ebor. He had the second Australis, I think, in the plate. He was absolutely all over the big staying races, and there he goes again with Z-Band.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mile and a half plus as well. You like to, it's like last year, Cabaletta, Shandoz, Believe in Love, of course, won loads of races. So yeah, obviously, he has a fair amount of young horses, Roger Varian, but I don't think a lot of people would have him down as a patient trainer, but he does seem to get the best out of them gradually, doesn't he?
Oh no, he does. Yeah, he's flipping knows what he's doing. He's got some Would you say not a patient trainer?
I think it's just that the market reacts so strongly to his newcomers and his novice runners.
Yeah, okay.
That I think, in my head, they're like, oh, they always go off favourite first time out, second time out, third time out. But actually, 4, 5, 6-year-olds stepping up in trip, they get even better.
Yeah, he's a very patient man. It's in his demeanour.
That is fair.
He's very calm and everything. You can tell he really passionate about his horses, and God, they have a lot of success. I mean, all those years I worked at Doncaster, you see Roger Verry and Andrea Arzini, just absolutely such a good strike rate
Great
there.
talker, isn't he? Roger Verry, and very interesting to talk to listen to, isn't he?
Yeah. Who would you rather listen to, Verry or Gosden? Who would?
Well, Gosden would be a little bit more entertaining, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
a little bit more personality there.
But who would you learn more from?
Big question there.
That's the big question. Would you rather win a vase or a plate? Who would you listen to, Verry or Gosden?
I think Gosden makes he brings up fundamental issues that are about us being a nursery for abroad, and he's right. He's right.
Yeah.
We do, but it's a business. But he brings up like massive issues, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But we do need some trainers that do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a fairly political sport, isn't it?
Very political, and he does bring it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I played golf the other day with them.
With Roger Verry?
Not with Roger Verry, but we were talking racing politics, and it is just a sport. It is a nightmare, isn't it, for politics? I literally just cannot get involved in it. It is just so dull.
That's. I thought there was going to be a controversial statement coming, but the controversial statement was that you can't be bothered. You don't care.
No, I just cannot discuss it. I have to.
You're in it for I'm a bit similar. People, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? And I can tell you what I think of the sport and the race and the horses and the form book. Anything else, I'm a bit like, really? Do we have to?
I'm not a horseman, so it's very difficult for me to give my opinion on it. Although I don't mind doing so every now and again.
Yeah, if you're prodded.
That way inclined.
Yeah. Marc, are you a political man?
No comment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in London, so I need to be very careful what I say there. Accent. Yeah.
Fair enough, Marc. Fair enough. We're not covering this race, but there's of course, we've got the Irish Derby coming up a little bit later on. We've got the Railway Stakes coming up. We're talking about very good 2-year-olds. We could see some potential sort of early Guineas challenges today, couldn't we, Marc? In the big hopeful anti-post markets.
Yeah, I can get the anti-post markets out for you in a sec. What is it you're looking for exactly?
I'm just interested to see if anything comes out of this railway and makes a stamp for next year's Guineas or anything else later on that we've got for 2-year-old purposes. But anyway, that's not our next race that we're covering. We'll be covering the 3:15 from Newmarket, the Criterion Stakes, 7 furlongs, Group 3 here. Has that last race at Newcastle, by the way, changed your mind on how you might approach the plate?
Not particularly. I think that my idea that there would be huge advantage to be drawn high has maybe not been played out in that race. Obviously, with the first.
If they go a stronger gallop, obviously. Those on the inside might end up dropping away and it might be a bit more...
Well, I've not really understood this. Maybe you can help me out with this. Why, when the race was on turf, was it the biggest draw bias race going, you had to be low?
Yeah.
And they changed it, put it on sand, and since they put it on sand, it's now one of the biggest draw race bias high. But basically the start is in the same place.
Is it not would the harrowing not make a difference?
Maybe. What you think there's maybe a faster strip on... But then Z-Band just come up the far side, you see.
I don't know, mate. It's Newcastle. I keep saying it's Newcastle. Who knows?
It is a bit like that, isn't it?
Who's the clerk of the course at Newcastle? Let's get him on. You would know this, wouldn't you? This is your...
Well, it's David Williamson's track, isn't it? But he's now the Northern regional manager for ARC. He's gone. I love the way that Natalie just says David Williams' track, and Ross and I just both looked at each other like...
Yeah, good old
David.
No,
he's an absolute legend, David Williamson. But he's got now quite a super duper job.
Yeah, he's probably
doing,
busy.
All the art dress, but it's it might be Michael. Michael.
We'll come back to that. Okay, let's move on. Newmarket, the Criterion Stakes coming up. We've got a 7 furlong Group 3 here, and it is a good one. We've got a fairly contested market here. Glorious Journey, Royal Crusade are vying for favourites. Then we've got Motokai and Learjet, Tinker Toy and Lord of the Lodge in there. We've just seen Go Bears Go in the Railway Stakes to frank some more Royal Ascot form. We've got a bit of Royal Ascot form here, obviously not the juveniles, but the Learjet ran an eye-catching race. But most of all, these are horses who skipped last week's meeting, Marc.
Yeah, I thought the Learjet was quite interesting for win purpose here. But the one I want to go on here is we're going to use the Back to Lay facility here on the Betfair Exchange, and I'm quite keen on Royal Crusade. Was bigger prices this morning. It's been very strong on the Betfair Exchange and the sports, but it's currently 5.7 on the Betfair Exchange, around 9 to 2. He's a lightly raced 4-year-old. Adam Kirby booked for Charlie Appleby, which is a positive. Has course and distance form, winning on debut on the 23rd of August 2019 as well. Been competing in group companies since that debut victory. Often a strong traveller, and I think his best form is around today's trip, which is 7 furlongs. So how we're going to play this one, because I do think this is quite a competitive race. What we're going to do is we're going to have a £50 win on Royal Crusade, currently 5.6. See if we can get matched there.
Okay, yeah, that's been matched.
Yeah, and we'll lay this one off. We'll have a £100 stake on at 2.6, so we can have a green book either way if it wins or it loses. I just think the race is set up today. I think it could be the day.
Okay, very well. Royal Crusade then, Back to Lay. I'm also going to have a Back to Lay here with Marc as well. So I hope both of ours get in a duel in the final furlong. Trade short, and we can get out. But
you finish second and third, yeah, that's the way we want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's still nice to have a winner, wouldn't it? But I thought Lord of the Lodge could get an easy time of it here. It's traded at sort of 2.4, I think, 1.7 and 1.6 or thereabouts in defeats, and has won on its penultimate start. Got chinned in the final 100 yards at Leopardstown last time out. So Lord of the Lodge, Back to Lay. I think he could go fairly short here and get an easy time of it out in front. Natalie, what wins the criterion?
J'agree. I agree with you,
Nice.
Lord of
funny,
the Lodge. Very nice performance at Leopardstown. Professional, straightforward, lovely rhythm. I think just got nabbed really by a better horse on the day in Real Appeal. But watch the replay. Yeah, a lot to like about it. It's given a textbook ride. So because I always like to counter-argue, it was such a textbook ride, you could argue should have actually stayed in front and stayed
Everything
on.
went to plan.
Everything went to plan.
Yeah.
So you've got to give a counter-argument rather than just be gushy about the performance. It was a good performance. Lord of the Lodge is my pick in this. I don't say I'm doing that well at Newmarket so far, but don't let that put you off.
No, absolutely not. Well,
No problem.
Yeah, I hope we're both right. Lord of the Lodge. Then, Graeme, what do you got up your sleeve? My good man?
This is the last of the races that I decided to give the swerve today. So I'm not too confident in this race. I thought it was very, very difficult. Probably would have gone for Kinross, but obviously he is a non-runner, which means that I can't go for it.
Get your money back, mate.
Yep. So I haven't lost.
No.
It's always a positive.
I wish we got our money back on the last bucket runner we thought might win. So.
That's true. That would have been nice. The Learjet is owned by this obviously Qatar Racing and the racehorse.club.com. Now, what do we make of this new approach to ownership? Seeing as we were just obviously talking about how we hate talking about politics, we may as well now get into it. I just think I think it's a great initiative, where you can just buy, how much is it, £50 or £100, just buy straight into horse, nothing else to pay. And they've got some good horses, haven't they? They've had the Learjet, the winner last week at Royal Ascot, Create Belief. I think there may be a different partnership behind Balco de Flo, is it, or is it the same one?
Same guy.
Same one. So they've got some really good.
I mean, they're not buying Class 6 handicappers for you to go pay 50 quid for, are they?
It's the Australian sort of model, isn't it? Don't they do this sort of similar thing? Yeah, very, very small shares. You get a bit of fun. You get your own share of the prize money now.
It's like buying a little bit of Bitcoin and hoping, I'll make 20 quid, while all the big hitters.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it? But I like it. It does give everyone really a chance to get involved in the game. But I have heard that it's not the most popular in the industry.
No, well, because it could potentially change. Anything that potentially changes the game is
not good for racing.
It's always controversial.
I'm trying to go back through my notes. This is really annoying me. When I was at York, and the owners, there's 4,000 of them, and the Colin guy that I spoke to, and then the horse went and won. It was fantastic. And obviously only allowed 4 owners, but there's 4,000 of them altogether.
I mean, you're really battling for those badges, aren't you?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. But they get the newsletters, they get the updates. I think it's about being part of something.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's about being part of
It's
something.
a bit different to what the Elite Racing Club and other racing clubs have offered in the past, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, it actually offers you a real proper share. You get the prize money, you can go along, follow them. Slightly different to that model, but I think it's a better model, a much improved model, and I want to see more of it.
Yeah, well, it's very, very difficult to own your horses outright these days.
Yeah.
I mean,
so expensive.
it is. I mean, yeah, we're talking 20, 25 grand to keep a horse in training for a year, aren't we? So, spotlight verdict, Hryhorskyj, by the way, for this Criterion Stakes. Let us know what you think of the Learjet, who ran a really eye-catching race at Ascot, was held up last and ran on past beaten horses, admittedly, in the Commonwealth Cup, but more Ascot form to throw in here. Royal Crusade has drifted. Bit of money for Lord of the Lodge. Tinker Toy also a bit weak. Is there any other market moves here, Marc? I see. Let's have a look. Well, Royal Crusade, probably the weakener, but late cash from Hryhorskyj. He's challenging for favouritism here.
Yeah, Hryhorskyj, he's currently favourite just now. He's around 5.49 to 2. Glorious Journey, that's about 5.5. But yeah, Royal Crusade, very weak in the betting. It was strong all morning, but in the last 5 minutes, he's definitely on the drift here at 7.2. You're back to late. I hope you got that 10.5 locked in, Ross, because he's a bit of money for that one as well, 7.8 currently. The backers seem to be queuing up on that one. A little bit of money for Apollo 1 as well. That one was around 18, 19s. That's 14.5. But yeah, the layers are definitely queuing up to take on Royal Crusade here. The backers' money's definitely dried up for this one.
I'd be a little bit worried with Hryhorskyj that Jim Crowley isn't there.
4.8 now, 4.7 now as well. They're absolutely queuing up on this.
They're smashing it, aren't they? It's been absolutely.
He's 2 from 2 at the track, admittedly. So I think it might well be. You know, they are going for the Newmarket angle here.
Yeah.
But he is 4.7 now. Yeah. I've put Lord of the Lodge back in at 4.5. So hopefully he will go at least that low and get out of the bet at the very least. But Glorious Journey a little bit weak in here. Graeme, you were swerving this.
Yeah, definitely swerving this. I would be worried that Crowley isn't there, just because I think he knows the time of day with these Hamdan horses very much. Yeah. He's very, very good when it comes to knowing which ones are likely to win and which ones aren't. And I think if this Hryhorskyj was as short as it is, I think he'd be there to ride it. So I wouldn't be taking a very short price on Hryhorskyj.
Hazard could surprise us a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he's talk about quirky.
Oh, yeah, I know. But look, Shane Kelly on board. It's got to come from off the pace and then at the end. So just watch Shane on this, maybe.
Okay. Well, by the way, I think the Hryhorskyj thing might be to do with Richard Hand as well. He's had 2 winners at the track, so maybe some multiples lining up as they race away over at Newmarket. And let's see how that pace lines up. Lord of the Lodge, fantastic. Yeah, great. You think he's going to get a solo lead, and it doesn't make the run-in. So we've got out in front, we've got Apollo 1 down this near side. And I'm pretty sure that is the Learjet Silks. They look a bit strange, don't they, in that light. Tinker Toy behind those, Hryhorskyj, Royal Crusade. Mum's Tipple held up dead last here, but Apollo 1 has gone on to...
Do you remember Apollo's one's dam, Boonga Regatta? She used to love it at Newmarket, the July course. I've seen her win there a few times. She used to bolt off in front just like her daughter's doing here. So it'll be interesting to see if Apollo 1 can keep up the gallop.
Yeah, and a Learjet, complete change in tactics there as well. Duke of Hazard is pulling a little bit. Royal Crusade tucked away nicely.
Hryhorskyj Tipple's going very well in the rear here, travelling like an express train.
Yeah, there could well be this. I wonder if anything's going to come down this near side again, or if it's on the far side. Glorious Journey. We've got quite a few. Marc saying we're getting out on his back to lay. Royal Crusade, Glorious Journey though on the far side has got every chance, and he's coming there under hands and heels. Down the near side it's Hryhorskyj, Glorious Journey, Hryhorskyj, Duke of Hazard. It's very rough in behind. Royal Crusade getting battered. Glorious Journey's hit the front, but will this stiff finish find him out on Hryhorskyj? He's coming through late. Glorious Journey though is good at this level. Hryhorskyj, Duke of Hazard, but Glorious Journey pulling out more up towards the line. He's got his level and he's found it again. Beats Hryhorskyj and Duke of Hazard back in 3rd place. It's a win for Charlie Appleby. And James Doyle there, a horse. We're talking about horses who find their level, their Group 3 listed class. They struggle when they go further up. Glorious Journey, he turns up in every 7-furlong Group 3 race going.
I'm just laughing because I just can't believe what they paid for him. I know with the stallion prospects, but it's 2.6 million guineas.
Oh, it's a bargain.
No, I'd want to buy the whole stud for that. I'd want to buy the actual building with preferably all the mares in place for 2. I know up to about, obviously, potential stallion, but now the gelding.
He's just won £34,000 in prize money. Come on. What's wrong with
Sorry, but it just blows my mind. Duke of Hazard, that was actually a really good run. I thought he was going to be at the back even further and then produce really, but I think he was just a bit keen, wasn't he? And can we just talk about Lord of the Lodge, please? What's happened? What's going on?
I mean, it was a strange one.
Disaster.
You've got an obvious front runner. They didn't make the run-in with it. But to be fair, it's not helped. It ended up being a contested speed as Apollo 1 and Learjet have faded as well. Mum's Tipple's finished 4th. But
yeah, but faded. It's off the TV.
Again, you do get horses, don't you, who have a way of running, and when they don't run like that, Graeme, they go, oh, I'm not doing it.
That does happen, doesn't it? And he was never really going to be in with a chance, was he, Lord of the Lodge?
Marc, you got out on your back to lay there. Royal Crusade never looked like winning once he got snatched up, but was on the bridle at a crucial point, and that's got you the match.
I think it's that deceiving camera angle at Newmarket. As soon as he sort of had him pushed him, he found a little bit and then he went backwards really quickly. He got matched straight away at 2.6. But again, I think we're very lucky there. Never looked like a 2.6 chance to me. Weakened very tamely. I think Mokateo, that money obviously got burnt for the backers there. I mean, it's hit even money there for £691. A little bit done at 2.2. But yeah, I think Glorious Journey done it well. This one's went as high as 9.8, so roughly around 9-1 in running. And the other one was quite interesting. Well, Apollo 1, that one's actually traded quite short. It looked quite handy in front there. And that one's traded as low as 4.2 for small money, 4.3, so that would have been a nice bet to lay. And your Lord of Lords as well, I mean, that's went 5-1 in running. I don't know who was backing that at 5-1 in running.
I wish they were backing it at 7-2 in running, Marc.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. just a point and a half out there. But yeah, we had a green book there, obviously showcasing the Betfair Exchange capabilities. We had a £50 profit there on a Glorious Journey, £70 on Royal Crusade. So winners for the charity, which is good. Get the ball rolling.
Absolutely. Glorious Journey, your winner of the race, though. 9-2 beats Motokael, 100-30. Duke of Hazzard. Back to Goodwood, I imagine? He loves a bit of Goodwood, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That'll set him up quite nicely.
Yeah, no, I that was pleasing. It was pleasing, but like you say, he just, as a really how he wants his race as a hold-up horse and then produce. He needs to not, he was a bit keener than I thought. It wasn't quite the position that I thought. That's what I'm trying to say in a very, very long-winded way.
Talk to me about Mum's Tipple. What is Mum's Tipple? Is it a sprinter? Is it a miler? Is it a 7 furlong horse?
We don't know. He's like Newcastle as a horse. We just don't know much about him. He just looked very good that day he won at York and never looked the same again. He won a few races on the weather, didn't he? At Lingfield. Did he win at Lingfield in the winter, or am I wrong?
I remember getting beaten by Kazar. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. If it,
maybe.
Yeah, he did win. Yeah, he beat Lord of the Lodge, of course.
But then,
Wolverhampton, wasn't it? It was the...
Wolverhampton, yeah.
But then it is just going to be one of those days when we either sat in the studio, sat at home and bounces back. I mean, it's like one of those types of horses, and then on the day we'll be like, oh...
Yeah, he will be that sort of horse. He's just not as good as he looked.
No.
And I bet they wish they'd taken the money. Do you remember they were offered a lot of money for him?
Yeah.
After
They were probably offered. Were they offered more or less than they paid for Glorious Journey? Do you think, as a yearling?
I don't know. I don't think it ever got disclosed, did it? But it was a big sum.
Would you take the cash if you were the? Would you always take the cash?
Would always take the cash.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Even as a horse person.
Yeah. Take the cash. You can always reinvest, can't you?
Yeah. Unless you've got the cash already, in which case.
Well, yeah, of course. And if you're not running a business and it's just a hobby, then fair enough. Go for it.
But it might surprise you to know this, viewers, but no millionaires necessarily get involved in the studio. Well, I say that. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe this is a hobby for Graeme and Nat. Marc, are you sat on a Scrooge McDuck style fortune perhaps at home?
Done quite well on the crypto, and I've got out, so I'm happy on that front. But unfortunately, not in the millionaire category just yet.
No, give it a few years, Marc. A few more trades.
Yeah, get involved.
Right.
I don't think we quite have the influence to move crypto markets on this show, do we?
Are you sure?
Unfortunately, not. No.
I don't even get it. Like Bitcoins, I don't even understand. It's way past my. It's not real. It's not real, is it? It's not really there.
It's not real, no. But is anything?
Real. Are we real? Are we really here?
I tell you what is real: the Northumberland Plate. That is a real race with real horses and real betting, and hopefully real money to be made.
Yes, come on.
A wide open market, somewhat unsurprising. One of the best horses of the day running here in the feature event, and a proper group class performer in a handicap. It's what people always say they want to see over jumps and on the flat, and we've got one here in the shape of Trushan. He's 4.4 to back. It's 7.6 Dubious Affair. Been an apt winner, wouldn't it? For the week, Australis is 13s, Mildenberger 14.5. All right, Sunshine is 16.5, and it is bigger prices the rest here. But yeah, Trushan, of course, the Ascot pulled out because of the weather angle here, Marc, and he's a lovely horse, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely the class act in this race. Having to carry 10 stone 4, and obviously the rider, Rhys Clutterbuck's taking 5 off, but definitely the class act here. 4.4, been strong all morning. The second in for Charlie Fellas, Dubious Affair, has been strong as well. That's 7.2. That's been backed at bigger price on the sportsbook and the exchange. And obviously you've got Australis. Obviously this one ran a good race last year in the same race. That one's in around 12 to 1. And obviously the trainer, Roger Varian's had a winner there already. But how I want to play this is I do think this is quite competitive. I want a Dutch 2 in this race, and the one I actually like, the first one I like, is I like Heather Main's Island Brave. When I was looking at my notes, this one was as big as 33 to 1 on the sportsbook, and it's currently 18.5 on the exchange. I just think it's a bit worse off at the weights with Australis. And actually beat Roger Varian's Australis over course and distance on the 12th of December. And obviously that was second in the race last year. Biggest 33 to 1 in the sports book. Goes well around the course. Ray Dawson's positive jockey booking. So how we're going to play this, we'll have a £30 win. We'll take 19.5, Graeme, on that one in the first selection.
Okay.
Second selection is this is a big price. It's a Lucky Deal of Marc Johnson's. This one has been consistent in the all-weather campaign before underperforming in the last 3 runs on turf. Has course and distance form. Andrew Breslin has won on them before. People have questioned his attitude recently, but I think if he can settle early and get into a run, I think he can outrun his odds share. I think you'll know your fate after 2 furlongs to see how he's running. He can often run quite lazily. He's off 95 here with Andrew Breslin's claim. So we'll have a £20 win on Lucky Deal. It's currently 100 poke on the Betfair Exchange right now.
Okay, there we go. There's a couple for you, Marc. Good luck with that. The spotlight verdict is Dubious Affair. Trushan adds huge interest, but the progressive Dubious Affair is the nap of the spotlight. Top of the list ahead of Australis. You said that the last race was the last one you were swerving here, Graeme. So yes. I'm expecting something.
Yep.
Something pretty tasty here.
Pretty special, yeah.
Yeah. What you got?
Australis.
All right.
Yeah, we were just talking about him. Roger Varian again. Just won the last race with Z-Band, and was second in the race last year behind Caravan of Hope in a thrilling rematch of a race when they raced each other at Wolverhampton, and Caravan of Hope had looked unlucky, and he got his revenge. Now I just think this has obviously been set up for a crack at this race without doubt this season. Well beaten first time up, and then that race at Newbury where he finished midfield behind Elysian Flame was just run at a really fast pace, really good pace, really good time that was running, and I thought he did a lot of the work. He was up with the pace, and I thought that he probably needed the run that day. I think he's probably better than the bare form, and that would have been a nice one to sort of tee him up for this sort of race.
I mean, given how well he ran in it last year, it's clearly it's an obvious angle.
It has to have been the plan, and then obviously they went and ran over at Epsom in a 1.5 mile handicap. Again, absolutely no way that a 1.5 mile round Epsom is going to be this horse's bag. Definitely not. He's quite a stout stayer, so he had very little chance of being competitive there. But I didn't think he shaped that badly. He finished 4th. He ran on quite tidily towards the finish. Thought he shaped very well for a horse who was obviously being laid out for a big race like this, and he's my win bet. I've also had a bet on Stargazer each way. The Stargazer's another one who just keeps shaping quite well in staying races. I think last time out he was 5th at Musselburgh, given an awful lot to do in a race that was run at quite a sedate pace, and they just kicked off the front. He shaped quite well there. So it's Australis to win and Stargazer each way for me, Ross.
Australis and Stargazer for Graeme. Then here for the Northumberland Plate, got a few social comments in. What are you backing at home in the big handicap of the day? Mally Draycott is with Australis as well. That's 3 votes for Australis. So all aboard the Varian and Egan selection here. It's worked so far today. Andy Sim, I got Dubious Affair each way double with Moho Star in the Irish Derby, which of course is coming up in about 15 minutes time, so that'll be a nice little payout there, Andy. Good luck with those. And Frizzy Red, I think the fave is a good thing in the Irish Derby. Well, that's coming up in a bit, of course, high definition. The favourite then for Frizzy Red, but it's a Northumberland Plate first. We'll get your selection, and then I want to know your thoughts on Trushan, Nat. So first off, what wins?
That is my selection.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Do you know, one point, I was going to say, we talk about the weight.
Yeah.
Pretty much guarantee on the gallops at home, Trushan will be carrying a much heavier weight, not heavier than the weight in the race, but I mean, what, 9.13, something like that, 10 on the gallops at home?
I mean,
Yeah, be used to it.
what's
honestly.
the average weight of a racehorse? Because I mean, we're talking. People argue, can he carry 6
I'm
pounds?
trying to think. My horse is about 5.75 kilograms, 3 mile chaser. So yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, people do weights and measures in these kind of events, and
I just think out of any of them, the main argument is the weight. Yes, getting the £5 taken off by Reece the jockey, but at home, Trushan will be used to carrying not heavyweight, but relative. I just don't think it's going to bother him.
It's going to be an issue.
No, I don't. In the pictures, he looks.
I mean, neither the punters.
Absolutely top nick.
Yeah. I had a quick look, Nat. They haven't had many, but Class 2 handicaps, horses carrying 10 stone 4 or more, past 10 years, we've had 7 of them. 1 won, what do we have? 1 win, 5 placed from 7 runners. So the record is pointing towards it being fine, not really being a problem. So, and Trushan, he is a group horse in a handicap, isn't he?
He's just also one of my favourites. But how unlucky! Just 24 hours later, it was heartbreaking. It was like one of my biggest bets at Ascot. I was mortified. So of course I'm not going to switch camp now because I'm not going to. One horse. Can I just mention really quickly though is Hryhorskyj. Right, he ain't going to win this. Oh God, I'm going to egg on my face. He is going to. Hryhorskyj.
He might win it.
So consistent. He's just a bit. He's a funny character at Haydock. Hryhorskyj genuinely thought he'd won. I promised you. There he was. I can't remember the horse that won. Frank Costello came past for John Quinn, and Hryhorskyj was like that. Oh God!
I thought I had this wrapped up.
He's a bit like that though. Watching.
Did you interview him after the race?
Yeah. How are you, Hryhorskyj? He genuinely thought. I just think he might hit the frame, and he's a good prize. Why is Hryhorskyj hits the frame, Trushan wins.
I was very happy when he got caught at Haydock because on his previous round at Ripon, when he won a 3-runner race, as I say, I was rating that race and I went very low. I was like, this is a terrible 3-runner race. He's just made all on the track where it suits front runners. And I went very low. And then when he was in front at Haydock, I was almost a massive egg on face moment, But luckily, Frank and Stella come to my rescue.
Yeah. And he's won on the all-weather as well. No, just Hryhorskyj, a little word for him because he's a good horse. He's just a consistent horse.
Yeah, I think he was one or two that interested me. I mean, the problem is the last race has kind of scuppered how I thought these events might run, and I did think that they might, the pace might collapse on the inside, and the outside wanted to be the place to be. I think he's one of the interesting ones, Hryhorskyj. He was beaten in this race last year, as was the other one I quite like because he's just Hubert. But the winners that last year came from double-figure draws, and they were drawn the inside. This year they've switched to double-figure draws today. Whether it switches back against them again is another matter.
He's such a funny horse. Look at him in pictures there. He's just like this. It's just as him. He's always just like this. He makes me howl laughing. Look at him. He just stares. He's just like that. He's just hilarious.
I think if we don't,
he's so funny.
If we don't get a GIF out of that, then I'll be very disappointed.
He is like the weirdest personality. He just makes me giggle.
No, thank you, horse whisperer, Dr. Natalie Green.
Well, I know him a bit. I know Hryhorskyj a bit.
Yeah. You go back a long way, do you?
Yeah, I used to massage him actually. Back. Oh my God, this is getting worse. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to stop talking.
Marc.
Sorry, Marc.
What's happening in the market?
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, Hryhorskyj is in the 6th place market. If you're interested, around 9 to 4, about 3.2. If anyone wants to play, there's 37,000 in the market right now.
I need to go home.
25s on the win market as well, and just Hubert's 18.5. That one's quite strong. It's again a Trushan. It's not really moved. There's nearly 1 million matched in the market right now. It's 4.1 on the Betfair Exchange. It's 4.1. Dubious Affair 7.6. But this looks quite competitive. Island Brave 19s at the moment.
Absolutely, Graeme. Any of these in the race that you used to massage?
I need to go home. I don't know what's wrong with me.
You go back a long way, Eddie.
I don't know what's happened. I've got sweaty palms and everything. I'm sorry, I've lost it.
I can't say I've massaged too many racehorses in my time. But I'm sure I could give it a go.
Not that you've been asked to, anyway. But, anyway, it could be an angle. It could be an angle.
What's wrong with me? I don't know.
We haven't got long enough to discuss. Quick word here on trying to drag us back to reality here.
Oh,
but, I'm not usually the man to do that. I'm usually the man who takes it off course, not keeps it on course. Galata Bridge here, Marc. The only 4-year-old in the race. In a race, these stay-in handicaps can be dominated by these animals, and there's a bit of money for Dr. Newland's charge.
Yeah, always a Simon, the good doctor. There's a few quid on one of his. 12.5 at the moment. I think this was batched around the 20s. But yeah, certainly want to keep an eye on early on. It's drawn 1. I'll be interested to see if this one goes forward early.
Yeah, absolutely. He's being well backed in the. Who cares what wins? Quite fine. I just hope it's Rodzinski.
So do I.
He's earned it. He's earned it. He's a tense lad. Is our Rodzinski. He needs daily
explain another time because.
No, we'll come back to that. We'll have to, quite frankly, because. I'm sure everyone needs to know. But Trushan is favourite as the last couple go forward here. Dubious Affair, 7.6. All Right Sunshine is the big drifter in the market. Graeme, remind us what you've backed.
I'm on Australis for a win and Stargazer each way, a big price. So fingers crossed that this is another one for Rog, our Rog.
Big Rog.
Yeah, Big Rog. Absolutely. I need to give him a nickname. I give lots of people nicknames. I ain't got one for Rog yet.
I think Roger Variance is the
Variance.
Twitter one. Nat, what wins the plate?
Trushan chased home by Rodzinski.
Trace chased home by Rodzinski, and I've completely forgotten what. Marc, what were you going for as they jump off?
Yeah, I'm on Island Brave, a price and a lucky deal of Marc Johnson's outsider.
Lovely. Let's see how they find their early position.
Gone for the lead on my one.
Trushan very keen early.
Yeah, Trushan is very keen early. Again, I mean, there wasn't much pace in the consolation. There's not much pace here, and Rodzinski's has managed to
Massaging his way to the front.
into second place, but currently making the running unsurprisingly in the Kingsley Park Silks is Hochfeld, who's always up there. Rodzinski, Australis, Trushan is behind those as well. Island Brave trapped a little bit wide. On the inside is Mildenberger. Behind those, we've got the red cap of Mancini. And we've also got Dubious Affair on the inside. We've got the Max We Can. Held up at the back, I'm trying to work out what silks they are. It might well be Stargazer, I think, and maybe Nicholas T at the rear. But again, they're going a little bit quicker than the Constellation here, Marc. But quite a few of these, I guess they've settled now. That early pace was poor, but the market should have settled down now.
Yeah, Dubious Affair is the one that they're backing and running here. It's currently 9-2, BSP 7.46. Trushan's just shortening up there around 11-4, BSP around 4.3. So they like the two at the top of the bang here. Island Brave, that's currently a 21 poke, and Rodzinski, 19s and running here. It's quite popular. It's probably popular with some of the listeners at home.
There's it's interesting again because they're trying to look where Z-Band was tucked away in that last race, Graeme, and whereas the fancied horses here, Trushan and Dubious Affair, are three wide again, not making necessarily a lot of sense in running once again. No,
it doesn't. They're going fast according to the sectionals, but yet the ones at the front are shortening up on Betfair, which suggests that maybe this is going to be another Newcastle type race where maybe the leaders look like they're going fast and then they end up staying there. We will see if they are going fast. It might bring my Stargazer into it because he is sitting absolute complete last.
He is. He's been given a very patient ride here. Nat, what has a nice position to your eye?
Trushan. It's fine there for me.
That's having that little bit of class in these races. It does help you get that early position, doesn't it? You know.
Are you worried? He's looking a bit fresh.
No, not really now. No.
No. Okay. You think he's settled enough? Fair enough. Let's find out, won't we?
Yeah, a little bit. No, that looks all right now.
Yeah,
lobbing along.
It's not extreme by any
No, it's okay. Nice heads straight.
Okay, let's find out how they go then. Here is Hochfeld, Rodzinski, Island Brave, Australis. In behind those we have Reshun as well. Very wide is the Marc Johnson trained Lucky Deal. Dubious Affair travelling well. Coming through is Trushan now coming off the bridle at the Max We Can, Galata Bridge and the Waters Meet as well. Yeah, they're coming down the middle. Will they go towards a rail? Will anything get in towards the near side rail, the far side rail? Galata Bridge under Luke Morris on the far side coming through. Hochfeld, Rodzinski. Nothing's travelling well as the last winner, that's for sure. But Galata Bridge has where he is exactly where Z-Band was in the last race. Coming down this near side, Trushan is now starting to pick up with Dubious Affair, but Hochfeld still has it. Rodzinski, Island Brave at a big price, but Hochfeld is still pulling out plenty. Mildenberger, Nicholas T for the informed Jim Goldie. Hochfeld still there. Island Brave, Nicholas T rattling home from the back. Nicholas T is in fantastic form. He comes to give it to Hochfeld. Nicholas T sticks out his neck and wins. Beats Hochfeld, Island Brave, Rodzinski and Mildenberger. Jim Goldie, he's in red hot form. He's winning with every sprinter going, and now he's winning with Nicholas T.
Do you know what amazes me about Jim is I can't. Because everything, I'm on literally the wheel of fortune on my phone and my iPad, it's all just stopped on a frozen thing. But God, he can win some money, Jim Goldie, can't he?
That one will help, won't it? How much was that?
It is phenomenal how he can just produce these horses.
821 grand now. Nicholas T, who has come from pretty much last to challenge the front-running Hochfeld. Again, we're talking about a fair track there, and two wide draws again there, Graeme, so it's completely turned on its head once again. 17, 15 and 14, the draws of the first three home, but Hochfeld ran an absolute blinder out in front, but yeah, Jim Gold, literally every horse he's running is winning at the moment.
Yeah, this horse won the ladies' race at York last time out, where they used to win their weight in champagne after they had won it under Miss Amy Woff.
Yeah, Amy.
As I call her. I don't know if...
I think it's Worf.
Is it War or is it Woff?
It's War.
See, I always get confused.
Only because I was there and I remember.
It is War, is it?
James Brennan.
I'm glad that someone's cleared this up, because we had a huge debate on the podcast the day before. Was it Woff or was it War? And I was going with Woff, but I'm obviously wrong.
War.
It's War.
No, War.
But anyway, obviously a great preparational ride by Miss Amy War.
Absolutely.
Very lovely horse, actually. Remember that? I was at York that day, and very nice Nicholas T.
Yeah, Nicholas
massive.
T.
Yeah, it is massive. Got a big horse.
I mean, Jim's trading everything to win at the moment, Marc. Tell us how the market went, because it looked like those in front were plugging on and kept going, which, to be fair, they have, because the second, third and fourth have all been on the speed. But Nicholas T has come from the clouds. Did anyone chance him at big prices?
I think, firstly, Connor Beasley's running Hodgfield. I mean, got the fractions perfect early on and just unfortunately get picked up by an informed Nicholas T. Nicholas T's been matched. I mean, some layers have definitely been burned here. 319, 140, 715, 120. A lot of money done at big prices in the hundreds. And then looking at Hodgfield, I think this one's went as low. I think it was around 7-2 last time I checked. So decent money done at 4.4 with a BSP of 53. I think Island Brave, my selection, had every chance. Was close enough to the pace. Maybe need to come down in the handicap a little bit, but ran a good race. I think that one finished third or fourth. The other selection, Lucky Teal, took a bump at the two-pole, was coming, trying to get that rail run. I think it ran on for about eighth. But yeah, really, really good performance by the winner there, Nicholas T. Again, Jim Goldie, a trainer north of the wall, who's certainly underrated in my opinion.
It'll be interesting to see the times, isn't it, Ross? Because we keep seeing fast, and then the leaders staying there, which is what we saw there with Hochfeld. Usually, if they're going fast, they stop, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we need a weatherman on track at Newcastle. Nicholas T, Hochfeld, Island Brave, Rodzinski, the first four home, 33s, 28s, 16s and 16s there at Newcastle. We're going to move on. The Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby is up next. Group 1 action for the classic generation over in Ireland then, and an absolutely cracking lineup here. A really competitive renewal of the Irish Derby, but unsurprisingly, we do have a Ballydoyle favourite. High Definition then is currently 3.25. Hurricane Lane 5.8. Sevens Lone Eagle 10.5. Moho Star looks a bit of a drifter in the market. Max Swinney is 14s his money for Van Gogh. Van Gogh, there's another debate for you as we go on. Van Gogh, perhaps. Wordsworth 14.5 as well, and it is bigger price as the rest. This is a cracking renewal, Marc. You must have rustled up something at a decent price for us.
Surprisingly not. I like to...
You're going to tip a favourite here. Surely not, Marc.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. This will be out the six probably. But actually, I like High Definition here. I guess an obvious contender. But has been weak in the last couple of hours. I mean, it was 2.7, 2.8 for decent money. It's actually out to 5-2 now on the Betfair Exchange. I just think the High Definition run in the Dante has been franked by Hurricane Lane. Obviously, reoppose here. It's third in the Epsom Derby. Excuses for High Definition at York, in my opinion. I just think High Definition with the step up in trip and the condition, I think he can finish in front of Hurricane Lane here. I expect this to be a real serious test with Aidan O'Brien's Arturo Toscani and Matchless being deployed as pacemakers in this race. I think this will play to High Definition strength. Looks an obvious player. I thought Mojo Star was interesting as well, second in the Derby. He's been weak in the betting all morning. I mean, that one's out to 10-1. That was 4-1 on the Betfair Sports with Betfair yesterday. Richard Hannon did say Mojo Star is probably one of the nicest horses they've had in the yard for quite some time, certainly over this sort of distance. I mean, he's a big price. I thought he'd be shorter here. But I think he'll be out the back early with High Definition. The pacemakers going off really quick. I don't think that'll play into Lone Eagle's hands. I mean, that's quite short. I mean, I think that's the Frankie angle there. That was backed at bigger prices this morning. I think it was difficult to split between Mojo Star and High Definition, but I'm just favouring for Aidan O'Brien here. So what we're going to do is, just to wrap up the day, we're going to have a £50 straight win at see if we can get 3.5 on the Betfair Exchange.
Okay.
Mr. Rodway, over to you.
We're getting there. We've put 3.5 in. There's a bit of money coming around for high definition. He's in the 3.35, but if we leave 3.5 up, we might get matched. There we go.
He's on the drift there. He's out to 11-4. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks for that, G.
Yeah, Brian, unsurprisingly, he has a remarkable record in this, but I mean, you'd still be making a profit. I mean, last 20 years, 82 runners, 13 winners, 36 places, plus £6.25 on the win, and plus £62 on the each way. So, I mean, you could pretty much back just anything he runs in this now. He's got high definition, he's got Van Gogh, he's got Wordsworth. Unsurprisingly, they've got a big chance. But actually, in the classics this year, they haven't dominated, have they?
No. Well, we were all shocked, weren't we, a bit with Bolshoi Ballad's The One, but we've covered that story. High definition. He's been his racecourse Gallup went well. Obviously, hold him in high regard. So I do think high definition is the worthy favourite. But I love Hurricane Lane. I love this horse. Possible excuse for losing 2 front shoes at Epsom. Possible.
Yeah.
Scratch that out. Absolutely possible. Both front shoes.
Yeah.
Flipping heck, that could stop a horse. I mean, obviously adrenaline would have been up. But that I personally, in my opinion, think that is a problem, losing both front shoes.
If I went for a run and lost 2 shoes, it would definitely...
Lost your trainers.
Yeah.
Run around the woods at home.
It would really put me off.
Yeah, it would really put you off. But 3 from 3 before that. I just really like the horse. I'm going to stick with Hurricane Lane. But I do think Lone Eagle has a good shout as well with Frankie on board.
Yeah, for Martin Mead and Frankie Dettori. Frankie, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's never won the Irish Derby. Neither has Ryan Moore.
No.
Amazing, isn't it? Aidan O'Brien had all those winners and not Ryan Moore. Maybe this is his time. Let's hope not, though, because I'm going to go for Wordsworth.
All
Suddenly
right.
I lost it then for a minute. Yeah. Wordsworth. Sami Heffernan's ridden 2 of the last 4 winners.
Yeah.
I think that this one wasn't really ideally suited by the way the race panned out at Ascot last time. I think he's a strong stayer. There's a sort of stop-start gallop, and I think this race might pan out better. There's going to be some front runners, aren't there? Pacemakers in this one that might set the race up for a stayer like Wordsworth. So each way for me, Wordsworth.
Yeah, I am in agreement here. Wordsworth, yeah, I think he's got a good chance here. He just seemed to get outpaced at a crucial point in the Queen's Vase, and he looks a bit of a galloper. High definition beat him here last time when they met on debut. But again, he's got a good record here. Second, first, second as well. Wordsworth. He's just one of those horses that you get the feeling one day it's going to drop right for him. Other horses to mention, obviously, I think there's a lot of money for Van Gogh here, Marc.
Yeah, he's very, very strong. At 8.2 on the Betfair Exchange, this matched the double-figure prices. Mojo Star still in the drift. I mean, that's out to 14-1, near enough on the Betfair Exchange. High definition did go out to around 7-2. The backers came back as 3.9, but they're just off now.
Okay, they're off and racing then for the Irish Derby 2021. It is, by the looks of things, a right old contested gallop.
Yeah, they're going for it, aren't they, Ross?
They certainly are.
Crikey.
Who is going to get that early lead? That is the question. Matchless is up there. Lone Eagle is up there. Hurricane Lane is up there. On the outside, Max Swinney. Then we've got also Fernando Vici. Moho Stars just lost the place. Switching to the inside is Arturo Toscanini. And somewhat unsurprisingly, High Definition is being given
You're suggesting there might be some team tactics going on here, Ross?
It wouldn't be the first time, would it, my good man? Wouldn't be the first time. Marc, what's happened to the market here? Because they seem to be going a good old clip.
Yeah, as expected. I mean, he's definitely applying the team tactics here. High definition, sitting out the back. This should suit this strong pace for Ryan Moore here. 5-2 and running here around 3.45. Lone Eagle is obviously he's going to sit in behind and try and get first run. You expect High Definition to be finishing strongly. Van Gogh, again, this one's way out the back. You expect this one to be running on strongly. 6-1 currently and running. McSweeney is quite wide at the moment. Is pulling, so I wouldn't be too happy if I was on that one.
Yeah, okay, there we go. How are we feeling, Nat? What are we thinking in these fairly early stages?
Yeah, I was surprised. My eyes had to do it because I couldn't believe how quickly they went off. Happy with Hurricane Lane here for me.
Yeah, he's got nice cover. He's sitting
nice
in a fairly
cover.
easy position,
Looks
mid-division.
quite relaxed.
He is indeed. High Definition is held up last. He has traded big prices when he's won at this track as well, but still in front is Matchless. Then we've got Lone Eagle on the outside. Arturo Toscanini's gone up a few places on that inside. Max Swinney Wordsworth has been wide, but at least he's going to get a clean run. Moho Star lost an early position.
Up their favourite, Ross. He's in trouble, the favourite.
He is.
He
You
does
wouldn't be happy now.
He does do this though, High Definition. That's the problem. But he's not looking particularly strong at the moment. High Definition.
under the whip. He's in
rousing
last.
along. Lone Eagle comes into the straight as they turn this.
Come on, Wordsworth, pick
with
them up here.
A good chance at the back. Fernando Vici. High Definition. He's going to go a short price from a big price here because he always finishes well. Lone Eagle kicks on and goes on from Max Swinney. Behind those is Wordsworth throwing down a challenge down the outside. High Definition looks to be in
Leader
trouble.
stays
Lone
forever.
Eagle
They
has
might struggle to
kicked.
catch this.
Lone Eagle has kicked under the
Come on,
Frankie
Hurricane.
Dettori drive. Hurricane Lane coming out top
Come
of
on.
the pack in the Godolphin Silks, but Lone Eagle has gone for home, and it can be hard to make up the
They
ground.
won't get
But here
this,
comes
Ross.
Come on, Hurricane Lane.
Lone Eagle, Hurricane Lane. It's between these two. Knows Wordsworth running on for a place. Lone Eagle still in front. Hurricane Lane
on.
is eating
Nice
up
stop.
the ground.
Stop.
Lone Eagle, high.
Oh, I
Lone
just
Eagle
got
and
him.
Hurricane Lane. Hurricane Lane. Hurricane
Well
Lane
done,
wins the
well
Irish
done,
Derby.
Natalie, well done.
Hey.
Hurricane Lane beats Lone Eagle. Frankie Dettori
Flippity
run down
flip.
by the Godolphin Silks there. God knows who came third because they were a mile clear. Hurricane Lane wins at 4-1 for Charlie Appleby, William Buick, and the very much informed Natalie Green.
I just love the horse. Look at him. He's just specimen.
He is. He's won that really well. I mean, it was a bold move on Lone Eagle, Graeme.
Didn't think they'd catch him, I must admit. He stays very well, that horse, Lone Eagle. I thought it was a perfect ride on Lone Eagle. Was try to go out there, catch me if you can. He stays forever. And it's obviously a very smart horse that's caught him because they've come miles clear of the third Wordsworth, who picked up some place money for us, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
High definition's very, very warm. You see?
Yeah, he's
Behind
clearly, he's clearly a funny horse. I mean, the way he was winning last year suggests he's got a few quirks. But the favourite, he went out, he came back in again, Marc. He went out.
Look at Hurricane here.
Race.
God, look
Yeah,
at that.
he
That is
never
quality.
looked comfortable for me going round the bend. I couldn't believe this one had went 2-1 in running because he looked under trouble a long way out. Lone Eagle, I thought it was a good ride by Frankie Dettori. Tried to nick it from the front. That's been done at 103, 25's on. 1,000 done, 104, 20's on, 2,700. So a lot of money's definitely been done on Lone Eagle. And the winner, Hurricane Lane, ran down Frankie really, really well there. Good ride by William Buick. 38-1 is probably the highest that one ran for small money.
38.
Yeah.
So I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, given how short Lone Eagle went, Marc, people are just looking at the Dettori drive and thinking it was all over at some point.
Yeah, there's absolutely, going back to high definition, absolutely no excuses there. Had that fast pace, just didn't pick up. Not really sure what happened there. Same with Van Gogh, they were way out the back, the pair of them. I think Max Sweeney running on for the 3. But yeah, Lone Eagle, I'll probably give that one another chance over this trip. Definitely stayed, but just got picked up by a smaller horse in Hurricane Lane.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got full result there. Hurricane Lane 4-1, Lone Eagle 11-2, Wordsworth at 11-1, and Godolphin win the Derby, win the Irish Derby with 2 different horses.
Yeah, nice, eh? They've got to have a massive chance, aren't they, picking up some big prizes with these 2 star colts.
Absolutely. And you've backed 2. This is why we get you in for the Derby. You've backed 2 Derby with us.
Yeah.
No, I'm delighted with that. And mentioned Lone Eagle, of course. Well, in fact, I got so delighted. I think I've pulled something up my earpiece, have I? Because all I can hear is lots of echoing.
Radzinsky needs
Yeah,
to
it looks
give
like
you the
Marc.
massage
Oh,
back.
sorry, team. I've done something to the old...
You got so excited, you'd broken the equipment.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's fine. That's the excitement that backing a winner in a big race.
No, I just thought that was... I'm just really pleased. Like I say, if you really, really fancy a horse, then you should stick with them, and that's exactly what I've done with Hurricane Lane, and it's paid off today.
Yeah, spot on with the shoes as well.
Yeah.
Very good excuse, wasn't it?
They can't... Not back ones is different. Front ones...
Makes a big impact.
Because some horses actually are only shod in front, like, not race horses, they're all shod all round, but
Yeah.
horses are okay with the back ones, but not the front ones. That will completely set them off their stride. So that was good.
Hurricane Lane was on his stride today, and that's 3 winners for you, Nat, today.
I know.
Have you had any selections in a little multiple or anything?
No.
We should have boxed them up in trebles. But Hurricane Lane, I hope you had some winners at home. Graeme, you've had a decent day as well?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, we had the outbox and Wordsworth placed and a few other bits and pieces. So yeah, it was a good day, wasn't it? And I think we did all right, Ross. We didn't quite go through the card, did we? But we were pretty close.
We were pretty close. Nicholas T and the Hannon horse, whose name already escaped me earlier on. Newmarket has scuppered us a bit. And Marc, you went for a favourite, Marc. It's not your style.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to stick to my normal approach. But yeah, it was good fun today. I was able to showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities. Some top winners in the studio this afternoon. Hopefully the viewers backed a few of them. But yeah, looking forward to being back on the show again soon in the coming weeks. Get a couple of winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is of course the Eclipse next Saturday, the feature race here on Betfair Racing Post Live. I hope you've had a good afternoon. Dave Orton will be back for that, assuming of course he returns in one piece from his stag do. Thanks to Marc at home. Marc, I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Nat, spend your winnings wisely.
I feel like, can I really quickly just clear up the massage thing? Because it
Sure.
could haunt me for the rest of my life. My great friend is a chiropractor for horses and works at Tom Dascombe's. And she was pregnant, so when she was on maternity, I went in with the Equisage massage pad to put it on their backs. And then did various bits of massaging techniques, and Rodzinski was one of my favourites, just because otherwise people are going to think I'm really strange.
Well, if I ever have a horse that needs massage,
I'm your girl.
I know.
That's
Who to
it.
call.
I'm your girl. Thanks for having me back, guys.
No, thanks for
absolutely.
coming again. And Graeme, if you have any hidden talents, let us know next time.
I will. I'll let you know.
Graeme Rodway, everyone there, who will be back in the studio, I'm sure, for a future event. I've been Ross Brierley. You've been wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.